Yo!
What's up?
What up? What's good, everybody? Listen, as usual, we're going to wait till folks come into the room, and then we're going to start the discussion.
It's real. It's getting real.
Hey, Felicia.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Listen, we're gonna completely introduce the show over here in a second. But I first wanted to say, how are you doing? You know what I mean?
I'm surviving. I have toilet paper. I got bottled water, and I got food for a few days, and we just keeping it clean out here in these streets.
You keeping it clean?
Oh yeah, we're keeping it real clean.
I see you got some gloves on over there.
Keep that hand sanitizer on deck.
Yeah, on deck.
Hand sanitizer on deck. Everybody, balling. It's gonna be the next rap video. It's gonna be my single this summer.
Is it now? Is it now? Listen. Well, I'm glad that you come here today. We're gonna have a fantastic discussion. It's gonna be fantastic. I'm really excited about it. Listen, you guys already see the title of the video. We're gonna go in. We're gonna handle the discussions the best way that we know how. What up, everybody's coming down into the chat. Salud. Simple logic. What's good? Jonathan, how are you? Simple Logic said it's so glad to see her back. Listen, you got fans over here.
I didn't know you guys like me.
Yeah, you got fans over here.
Just keep it 3 feet. Keep it 3 feet away.
I thought it was 6 now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well,
Menzie, what's good, my G? How are you? Jordan Williams, what's up, brother? How are you? Amazing Productions. What's good, my G? Good to see you again. Listen, he said, Malcolm said she got the gloves on too. LOL.
It's real. It's real out here.
It's real out here.
Hold on, let's get a gloved high five. Let's get a clean. There we go. Corona.
Listen.
Or the Corona fist pump is gonna be like, don't even touch, just
right there.
Yeah, keep it clean.
You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody that's coming in the building. Arenzi in here already. If men are dependent on women, then why? What do women do that garner such a stance? Listen, we're gonna get into it here in a second. Trust, know, and believe that. We're gonna wait a little while until some folks come into the room as what we normally do. So sit back, kick back, relax. Get your goddamn red cups.
Ching.
Oh, we can't just even the bottom. Boom,
yeah.
Just like that. Just like that.
Just like that.
Let me
the top up.
Clean up the.
I need a new cup.
Salute to everybody that's coming in the building. Blah. Come on. Salute. It's too hot over here.
It is.
It's too hot over here. Me at least take the gloves off. I'll keep the scarf on for right now. Salute to everybody that's coming in the building. We're gonna have you keeping the gloves on. You're gonna keep the gloves on. Salute to everybody that's coming in the building. Salute. Listen, while we're getting started, while we're getting everything kicked off, I thought it'd be a good time to at least go through. I found a new website to give me updates on the Rona. So I wanted to share this with everybody, just so you guys know, love, and can understand resources that you can go to get updates on something.
Yeah, there's a lot of fake news out there. There's a lot. I think that there's a lot of panic and
there's a lot of BS out there. All right, I don't know if you guys can see this because the banner is up at the top. Let me take this banner off real quick. Just so you guys can see this. So I'm on a website called worldometer.info. It's not .com, it's .info. Worldometer. You guys see the spelling over there. .info. This is where I've been going to get all of the Corona updates. So it shows you up at the top the cases, the amount of deaths, how many people have recovered.
Is that worldwide?
Yeah, that's worldwide.
Okay.
Yeah, that's worldwide. So 275K worldwide. Active cases, closed cases. My thing is like, how are they defining recovered? Like, I wonder if they're giving people some type of way to notify hospitals that they've recovered.
Well,
like,
I'm sure that they're testing them. They probably have to like annually test them. I mean, what are they just locking them in their room and then seeing what happens? Just shut the door and open it a few days later, and it's like.
Well, some people are handling it by themselves at home.
Yeah. I've heard of that, like the home quarantine.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Anyway, if you guys go a little bit further down on this page, you could look at all of the cities and countries in the world, right?
Let's see who got it worse. Italy. Wow.
Yeah, Italy is
and Germany.
Ridiculous. Italy has actually more deaths than China.
My God.
I wonder if they're going to find out later that the strand of it might have changed from China to Italy, because look at that, the total number of cases.
Yeah.
But then the total number of deaths. So it seems like it seemed like it got way more violent when it went to Italy.
Right.
But look at this for new cases in China, 41.
Right, but new cases, it's almost 6,000 in Italy.
Yeah. So it's Italy is actually one of the largest tourist hubs in the world.
Yeah.
So that's why their number just went astronomical in a very short amount of time. You see what I'm saying? And like their death rate is just
now the thing
ridiculous.
that's interesting is if you compare that to the U.S., the new cases, we have a number that's similar, but you also have to think about the size difference, and we only have theirs is 47,000. And ours total cases is 19,000, where our new cases are about the same. And their deaths, I mean, the deaths are so sad at 4,000. That's insane.
Yeah.
In that small country, you think about that, just the geographical difference between the amount of land, the amount of space.
The interesting thing about the difference, so Italy got it before us. Also, the proximity, like Italy has a lot of Chinese tourists, right? Italy got it before us also because of the proximity to that portion of the world. We started about 11 days after Italy started. And although like we're half as many cases, what's the scariest thing is we are trending like Italy as far as the catch rate, even though the size of our country is so much larger, but then you got places like New York, which is a rat box of human beings, like crammed together. More people than should be humanly possible are sitting, like all 20 something million of them are just chilling in New York. So if you look at like the rates in New York, like so you could actually click on this and then go to the actual country.
Okay.
So with the United States, we have 20,000 cases, 250 deaths. So like New York, 8,400 total cases. Look at the difference, between New York, Washington. Actually, Washington was one of the first places that caught it in the United States.
Well, they have twice as many deaths. It's just, I don't think that there's really any way to compare the numbers to, like, these numbers are actually human beings that are all individuals. They're different ages, different proximity. I think as much as we are trying to anticipate things based on numbers and based on statistics, it's evident that you can't really. I mean, you can pull some information from obviously places where the population is very dense. People are commuting everywhere, like in some of those European cities like Italy and Germany, where you're living on top of each other. But then when you come into other cities and other states in the U.S., you have a little more space. You don't have to necessarily interact with other people just to go about your daily activities. So I don't know. I guess the point that I'm making is that it's kind of hard to look at these statistics and compare without, realizing that these numbers are people.
Yeah, the numbers are people. The people are part of the numbers. I think these are just numbers. They're not like deep dives into what's going on. Like, right, like a breakdown of this. I would like to see the ages, right, like that are being impacted from a total case as well as a total deaths perspective. So these are just actually facts. These are what's happening, but I think often you can just look at the outcome of numbers and just draw conclusions. right? But like until you know like the outliers and the breakdown of the numbers, you really don't know kind of what's playing into it. To your point,
right. What I'd like to be informed of are the symptoms. I'd like to know a little more details about how these people who recovered, what did they do, what medications did they take. Just seeing all of these numbers, I think it's just it just kind of promotes the panic even more with no answers. These numbers are just numbers. It's not really anything that I can attach to where I feel like this is going to help me. All it does is just makes me more concerned.
Yeah. So when you say help you, right? Because right. So it's similar to the flu in a sense that it's an airborne sickness, right? So like if you think of like viruses, viruses can be transmitted through a couple of different ways. So you have like the HIV virus, which is blood to blood. Mm-hmm. This one is airborne, mm-hmm. which is the weirdest one because you could just be in breathing distance with somebody. And if you are in breathing distance, then you can breathe in whatever the hell they're giving off and you can catch it. Similar to like the flu. The flu is airborne as well.
So but don't they have to actually cough?
No, they could just exhale.
Just breathing
so you
regularly.
Can have the virus here and
uh-huh.
you can exhale and I can breathe in your air. So like similar, like if I'm like, let's say I'm smoking and I'm exhaling mm-hmm. and you breathe in that smoke, like that smoke then gets into your body. Like there could be virus bacteria in that exhale that can get you sick. Mm-hmm. Now the thing is like way more old people are succumbing to the virus than young people. So like young people are really not dying. Mm-hmm. It's old people and it's people with compromised immune systems yeah. Or just compromised health. Right. So like if you have diabetes, right? Like if you have some type of congenital disease that affects your lungs, such as asthma or what have you, like it can more. But the thing is like what they're saying is just socially distance yourself because, I see a lot of people just like, well, I'm not going to get sick anyway. And the problem is like, no, you might get sick. You may not die, but you could get someone else sick who might die. Right.
And I think that's why we're going through these lockdowns and the social isolation and everything is because, there's someone who, if you have healthy lungs, like you were saying, you don't have any kind of immunity compromised, whatever. And you can go around carrying it. I imagine that's what happened in the senior citizen home that was in Washington State. I think that's where the most immediate and the first cases of where there were a lot of people who were dying in the same building because they quarantined them in that building. And, they're already, senior citizens who are like on hospice care and things like that. So I think it was probably, one of their relatives who had traveled somewhere, came to visit their grandmother, gave it to their grandmother, not even knowing that they were carrying it. And then that, spread throughout the senior citizen home. So I don't know.
But if you look at the numbers too, like there's more people. I want to say like the infection rate is similar to the flu, but the death rate is a lot higher than the flu. I think the flu was like 0.1% of the population will die. But when you're looking about 7.7 billion people on the planet, that's still a lot of people. 0.1% still a lot of human beings that are dying to the flu. But this version of the coronavirus is like almost 4%. Right. So like if you stretch that across 7 billion people, and then those who are infected, that's still millions of people. So I think like that's why it has reached like pandemic proportions. And how is your life? Salute to everybody that's coming in the building, by the way. Hold up. Let me see. I got my bad. There's a lot of conversations that's happening. Salute to J. Joe 440. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. The Minister of Wellness teaches everyone what to do, strengthen our immune system so the corona doesn't affect us. Look his channel up. Salute to J. Joe 440. I appreciate the $5 super chat. I'm not sure who the Minister of Wellness is, but yeah. Have you been doing anything to strengthen your immune system?
Actually, I have a whole I got a whole survival kit of suggestions for you guys.
Come on, let's talk about
All right,
it.
so I personally have not had a cold in a few years. And that's because of things that I practice regularly just to take care of, myself, and just little vitamins and supplements. But the most important one that I do is it's called Nigella sativa. That's the scientific name, but it's actually black seed. So you can buy, if you go to a spice store, you can buy it as its seed form. If you go to some stores that may import, like African markets or sort of like Muslim community markets, those type of places, they will have this product, black seed oil. So what I do with it, what I've always done with it, is I take it and I clean my ears with it. So then what that is that if you can keep the infection out of your sinus cavities, if I can keep my ears clean and my throat clean, then the infection it never becomes a respiratory infection if you can keep it out of your face. So you use it and it creates sort of like a barrier. But it will like cure an ear infection on contact. So as soon as you get that little scratch, a little itch in your ear, a little scratch in your throat, you clean your ears with it, or you can swallow it, and you can use it it's good for a lot of different things. But for me, that's where I found that that's like the most valuable thing. And that's a natural remedy. Also, you can eat garlic. Garlic is like a natural antibiotic. So if you feel like you got that little scratch, the key is you got to catch it when it's little. You got to get it when you first get that little tingle in your ear, that little in the back of your throat. That's when you want to attack it, like with your organic antiseptics or, Listerine. But that's when you want to take care of it as soon as you get just that little tiny scratch going on in there,
Listen, I need you to teach the people about natural ways to heal it or prevent it, because I'm just over here listen, let me tell you guys something. Let me keep it funky and 100 with every single last one of you. I love this pandemic shit. And I say that with the utmost respect. I say with the utmost respect because we need rebalancing. We need a degree of rebalancing. We've been on a 10-year bull run. Been on a 10-year financial bull run. It's unprecedented. It's unprecedented what our stock market has been doing. And I love that we now have an opportunity to get things out on sale. I hate that it has to be a pandemic in order to do that, because people are suffering with whatever the ingredients of this virus actually is. Another reason why I love it, we're challenging work from home. We're challenging the importance of or the value of being able to telecommute, right? Like, and work from home, right? So, but shout out to all of my blue collar workers who are not they cannot telecommute. They can't use a Skype or a Duo or a FaceTime in order to get some of their work done. I think like in this time of rebalance, there's going to be a lot of different types of jobs that are reassessed.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Just after everything you just said, how do you feel like this is going to change the world going forward? Because it absolutely is.
Yeah,
how do you feel
it.
in reference in the things that you just brought up, like the stock market and working from home? How do you feel that the world is going to change after this?
I feel like a lot of different things. I want to get it. I'm gonna get into your exact question here in a quick second.
Okay.
Salud to 96 Till. He said, "Your MTR, your live is not showing up in subscriptions." I felt like something was going on because we only have 30 people in here. I don't know why that. Hopefully, I'm not shadow banned on YouTube. That'd be some BS. All the more reason I can't check the current likes down in the video. Everyone, go up and throw a like on the video. Would wholeheartedly appreciate that. Because then after a while, the likes would overpower no one seeing the notifications. Salute to everybody that's coming in the building. Diego, I see you. JT Gavitt the second, what's good, my G? JT, he changed his avatar. He changed his avatar.
Snap getting a little snazzy.
See, I recognize. Recognize real. Quiz, how are you? Just got out of work. Salute, my G's. Oh, yeah. Also, let me update you guys. I started an Instagram for the channel.
Oh.
At Mediocre tutorials and reviews, no spaces in that shit. You know, I know that's long, but you know, you guys are all smart, so you can figure out how to spell mediocre tutorials and reviews. It's grammatically correct. It is up on Instagram right now. Now, here's the purpose of the Instagram, and I want to get back into your question, guys.
Okay,
it's super important. Here's the thing, guys. The purpose of that Instagram is for, listen, I know a lot of videos that folks send me on YouTube are long ass videos. Instagram is more short form content, and I like reacting off of short form content a lot more than long form content, mostly for the reason that I think it's more entertaining to react off of short snippets as opposed to, if I'm reacting off of a 20-minute video, that video is gonna be like an hour long. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we've reacted on a couple of videos. Like, remember we did the thought retirement plan, the Black Ram.
Being like two.
It was a 2-part because it was like 40 minutes each part. Because shout out to Black Ram, I was actually live streaming on his show about 2-3 weeks ago. And they're just so goddamn long. So I say all that to say, I'm just like, listen, Instagram has a lot of shorter clips that would interest you guys for me to react to or guests to react to. So I opened up that account for that specific reason. I don't think yet I'm gonna start uploading content up there. So just keep that in mind. And then also too, I want to keep that feed clean because I don't want to have additional distractions in my life. So feel free to follow me. My plan is, if I'm not following one, I'm not going to follow any. But feel free to go up there and add me on there. And then as you come up with things on Instagram, send it over to me so I can at least see it. And you guys already know I work a 9 to 5 as well. So like, I'm just not up on stuff as well. So if I can have other people out crowdsourcing kind of what's going on in the culture, it would genuinely help me. And I think it would improve the value of the reactions off of the channel. Okay. I've had a lot of, and now going back to this coronavirus. Okay.
Somebody just said it was the Kung flu.
Oh, this is actually 10 minutes ago. I got to hurry up in the chat. The Kung flu. Listen, Quee says, I seen so many girls crying on social media because they're lonely. I know every single one of them. Listen, it's going to be, here's the thing. I think because of the coronavirus, there's going to be a lot of babies. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of corona babies.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be a lot of corona babies that are going to come out of it. Salud to Diego. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Excuse me, $5 super chat. That wasn't the corona. That was
okay. Yeah, because I'm keeping it like.
Listen. Diego says, hello, MTR. I sent you a few links from the World Health Organization about the virus via email. I don't think you did, bro. Recheck the email that you sent it to. But thanks, Diego, for the $5 super chat. I remember seeing an email today or even yesterday. Yeah. So. Locker room, what's good? How are you, my G? How are you? Everybody that's coming in the chat room. Yeah, it must not have been a notification that went out. Quee says, yeah, MTR is messing. Try not to curse anymore. Everything, man. I work in the medical field so I can get paid, but everyone else in non-essential jobs. Yeah. So like my hairline is gonna stay messed up for a very long time. Because of this, like I was actually, maybe not though. My plan was to have, shout out to my barber Emmett if he's watching this. My plan was to have him come on, and
Emmett.
You know Emmett?
Yeah, I know Emmett. Yeah. We used to do hair shows together.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And you know Emmett's like a low key kind of conspiracy theorist, but like in the barbershop.
What barber isn't?
Exactly.
What
Every good black barbershop, there's got to be at least one conspiracy theorist to make the conversation.
And they're out there like, see, I told you. What I say.
You see this corona? This was anticipated. Okay, this was proclamated. This is abdicated, right?
COVID-19. What were the first 18?
What happened to them? What happened to the? Yeah, right. So I was gonna have Emmett up here to do a conspiracy theory podcast or show live stream. I'm sorry, but okay. So you had a question that you asked me. Now that
I asked you, how do you think that this is going to change the world? In a sense, is how the economy and working from home. How do you feel? Because it's absolutely going to change the world. But just like in that realm, what do you think?
Yeah. So let me hone in on the gravity of the situation. Okay. This is the first. Okay, so I know we got some younger cats on the channel. I have never experienced this. I've never lived through something like this before. The closest in my mind that I can think of in terms of like the seriousness was 9/11. I lived through 9/11. I was in New York during 9/11.
Oh man.
Okay. I was in New York during 9/11, and I had actually people in the school that I went to had parents that perished in the Twin Towers, right? That was the last time that I felt this sense of urgency and emergency. I want to keep that a buck. I want to keep that 100. As I talk to older people and I talk about kind of their experience in this, no one has lived through a pandemic. No one has. No. The last one was 1912, and that was the Spanish flu. Yeah. Folks have not lit right. Most of those folks are not alive right now, so they can't even talk about kind of what that did to them as a society. Now, this is the Web 2.0 era. This is the technology. This is the social media, right? So like, there's a degree of what's going on here that I think that it is a lot of it's fear. Media will continue to push fear into our lives in order to keep you glued to the TV, to take up a lot of time in your day, because in between of them doing that, they're going to send you ads, and ads pay the bills. Okay. So, but within that, there's a lot of truth in the seriousness of what's going on right here. Now, listen, but this is no different than, what happened in 9/11. People came together, right? And there's a degree of social distancing that's going to prevent that right now. But I think that both on a male as well as a female perspective, there's going to be a coming together, because there's an understanding of a life is real. Yeah. Life is real and death is real. I think far too often we forget that how precious this shit is. Yeah. How easily you can lose this thing called life. It's easy to forget about it. I forgot about it. I was reminded last year when one of my really good friends passed away. Very extremely unexpectedly. I saw him on a Thursday. He passed away on a Saturday. Extreme. And when I saw him on Thursday, it was, what's good, my G? And passed away. And I was reminded at that time how precious life is, how easy it is. I mean, we're walking balloons filled with blood. That's it.
They're very fragile.
That's what I'm trying to say. We're very fragile. I mean, we're super malleable to Mother Nature. If we don't have a roof over our heads, we're malleable to Mother Nature. If we don't have food for a certain amount of time, if we don't have water for a certain amount of time, if we become ill, become sick, I mean, shit, we got shit that can grow inside of us that come from literally nowhere, called cancer, that can just take you out in a fell swoop. I was watching a video earlier this week about this dude who had like jaw cancer. It's on YouTube, and they had to take his jaw out, and they had to reconstruct him a jaw. Right? Like, I'm getting outside the pandemic, but unless we have situations like this to help remind us and rebalance, right? I think like there's going to be a lot more people with an appreciation for life. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, people will be appreciative. But what things do you think will change, like, the way we function as a society? Like, for example, after 9/11, the way you get on an airplane changed forever. I think that's going to be a factor that's going to be a part of it. I think not only are you going to have to go through this body scan, they're going to start doing like some type of organic scan or bio scan. Like you saw the videos overseas where they were checking people's temperature with the scanners. I think that's going to be something that's going to be more of a standard. As when it comes to transportation and TSA and all that, I think it is going to be more like Total Recall, where they had like the full body scan. I think that is definitely going to be a place where technology is going to be advancing as far as like it's just pretty much going to be like an MRI that you have to walk through before you can get on the airplane. That's my anticipation.
I don't think that we have the technology to do that. I hear what you're saying,
but I think that now they're going to start striving to discover that.
I think that's, to me, that's years away. Right? Like I think like if we could do that before this happening, we would identify like cancers and shit like that. Like I don't know if there's a way that we can identify bullshit going on with us through scans for like viruses, like microscopic shit.
Sure, but it might be like and I think that's where we start to get into like some ethical lines. Like what if they had a thing where you had to get injected in your neck and then they take a little blood before you get on the plane. I think that those are the type of things where before this happening, people would be like, absolutely no, it's a violation of human rights, this and that. But now that we've dealt with this on such a worldwide catastrophic level, I mean, and even when you talk about like the Spanish flu, you talk about 9/11, that was even though it was worldwide, it wasn't a worldwide issue where everybody is dealing with it in such a common way, where everyone is susceptible to it. Everyone, no one can escape this.
I think you'll have here's some of the short-term changes is like like over the past decade, we would look at pictures of folks from China with like the mouth. The respiratory mask on their face and be like, oh, no weirdos. I actually think that will probably be adopted in America.
Absolutely.
I think that would happen.
Absolutely.
However, I'm a little bit resistant to believe that Americans will give up certain privileges for safety and health. Here's the reason why I think that. Mm-hmm. If you look back towards 9/11, we were super resistant to even TSA from a surveillance perspective. Yeah. We were super resistant to even that. So I think that, like, to your earlier point, if there was a body scan, there's a lot of people that would want to do that to see if like what's going on. But I think that that's years to decades in the future. However, I do think that as far as people giving up rights, I mean, even look at like the school shooting tragedies throughout our country over the past decade, and Second Amendment supporters are budging on bans on certain type of assault, right? Assault rifles and automatic weapons and firearms, right? Like, so I think like there's going to be immediate short-term outcry for changes, but I think like there's going to be a second wave of resistance to those changes if it involves giving up the foundation for which our country is started on, which is freedoms. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. As opposed to China is a communist-led country, and they grow up not knowing what this American freedom is. Mm-hmm. And the fact that there's parts of their nation that's in a surveillance state, which is a large component to the riots that was happening, throughout 2019, that started in 2018. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Sweet Blackberry. She said, thank you. I've been saying to everyone, this is our era Spanish flu. I think that, I would have to, as you say that, I would have to look at the numbers of the Spanish flu to be able to compare. However, it's a weird death rate. 4% of something happening is weird when it comes to life or death or what have you from a virus. Yeah. Right. Worldwide. You know what I'm saying? Did I sufficiently answer your question about what, or I was reacting off of you said, but I can get to some of the other things that I think might be.
Well, okay, let's be a little more like I feel like we were touching on like what's happening, like the emotional aspects of it. But the question I was asking was more specific about things that are more tangible. Like how do you think that this is going to affect the world? What technologies do you think will be put in place? How do you think it's going to affect the economy? Just when you walk out of the door after this is passed, how do you think the world is going to look?
Well, let me also give a caveat here before I say something that doesn't age well. let me put a caveat on here. We really don't understand. I would say over the next week, we'll probably understand the gravity of the situation within the United States. However, the numbers are not looking very good. It's looking like the infection rates are very similar to Italy. Not the death rates, but the infection rates. Mm-hmm. So let me start there. The benefit of the United States is it's a large country. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of space. Mm-hmm. Right? Like if you just took New York right now, and if let's say that was its own country, New York would be like, it would be crazy. It would be, because of the infection rates and the population and the density or what have you. But most of the country does not look like the United States. I mean, does not look like New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now for changes, I do think that as we are all assessing kind of the differences between pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, mm-hmm. I think there's going to be an explosion of birth rate. Okay. I also think that there's a reassessment of what gender roles are and how they are playing into, which is the topic and one of the main things into this channel. And I wanted to talk about it because I think that it's an interesting perspective, and I wanted to get a woman's perspective on this in it to say, there's a lot of men that are watching this channel that are very keyed into the feminist movement, INDE, all of that stuff, and what that all means. And what they will say, what they will tell you if you're in a room right here, is that it seems like as we get closer into a times of peril or times of pandemic, those roles begin to shift, and there's less of a I can do this on my own and more of a I need a man to continue to help me do that. Mm-hmm. I wanted to say what the general air was of the public out into the open into the air, so that you can understand the perspective, and then we can talk about that perspective. Because I have my own thoughts on that as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, I feel like let's just take it to Hollywood, right? Mm-hmm. Because this seems like this is a movie. This just seems so surreal that we're going through this right now. What always happens in the movie? There's like this macho guy who's probably got all the guns and all the muscle and stuff like that. And then there may or may not be this damsel in distress, and she may or may not be in distress. She may be independent herself, but they still end up coming together. They still end up being codependent, because I think there are things that we kind of like naturally turn to, like just sort of like we become very organic, like when you take away all of these components of the society that we live in, when you take away your job title and you take away, just your daily activities of going to the grocery store and things like that, like, and it just comes down to like, man has a tendency to be more protective, and so women feel more protected. Like, if there is a guy around, like, in a crazy situation like this, something pops off, I definitely want to be close to someone who's armed and ready for it. But on the flip side, like I, as a lady, would have more natural remedies, like the medicinal things. Like those are things that I've always practiced, just something that my mother taught me, so on and so on. Just like a guy may know how to hunt or fish or things like that. So, I mean, we're not in a situation where we are there, but it's definitely in the back of people's minds. Like, you definitely are thinking about, like, oh my God, does this mean that I'm going to have to, revert back to nature? We're talking about nobody knows how long this is going to take. I keep hearing whispers and rumors of this may go on until August. This may go on.
Might be longer than that.
Yeah, who knows? Like, I feel like there's going to be, even when it quote unquote comes to an end, it's not really going to stop. And that's where I feel like there's still going to be a trickle down effect. There's still going to be echoes of this going on, and how people are just moving and functioning in society. But to kind of bring it back to what I was saying was, I think that in our more natural roles, non-sexist, just the things that we do naturally as men and women, I think that that's where we end up like turning to each other to kind of like be able to have like a self-sustainable situation. I don't know.
You know what? And I appreciate your perspective. And it's like, it's the analogy I actually just created this analogy in my mind, but it's like when shit's going good, you know, there's a lot of gallivanting in the streets. There's a lot of redefining biology that happens. Mm-hmm. During times of war, during times of, you know, like the birth rate exploded. You know, that's why they call them the baby boomers. Mm-hmm. After World War II, it exploded. Mm-hmm. After times of like really backs up against the wall, some BS is hitting. You often see a repositioning of who we are and a re-understanding of who we are in our roles, right? What's been exploding is like, I saw someone in the chat. I can't look at it right now, but like I saw someone say, "Yo, I got my quarantine babe coming over tomorrow." Like, but that's a real thing. You know, that's a real thing. There's a lot more people that are becoming closer together because they're looking at their existence with a little bit more reality in it, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not to say, like, I think the majority of people that's in this chat, I think the majority of people that are my age, younger, are not concerned about death. But I think that like the gravity of the situation, that it's altering how we do business, that's altering how we work, it's altering our markets.
And socializing.
Mm-hmm. You know, like all of these components are shifting how we think fundamentally. I mean, shit, I may roll out a toilet paper and then I got to go outside and use a leaf to wipe my ass. That may happen. I may have to take this back. You know what I'm saying? To our hunter-gatherer era. Okay. I may need to do that. It's okay because I'm a man.
Right. But in those societies, there were hunters and there were gatherers, and the hunters needed the gatherers and the gatherers needed the hunters. And
then we had the women who were at home, just, you know, they had the medicines into the brew pot, into the cauldron.
Right.
And you guys were doing this, and you're also doing a little bit of cooking on the burner, and you know what I'm saying? And we came home and it was love. It was love in the air. You know, but now we have a splitting. We have a split of what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, the roles that come through biology as inhibited by the chemicals that fire in my mind, the chemicals that fire in your mind and your body. Right? You have these different things that are happening, and you know, we're letting different media influences, different cultural influences dictate how we should feel about the opposite sex. But I think like when your back is up against the wall, like that, you know, that's really like when you realize you know who the friends that you have, you know what I'm saying? Like if you ever get into a fight or something like that, your back's up against the wall, you look to the left and you're right, and you're like, yo, who is down the ride? Who is down the ride? It's like, you know, when you go through these times of peril, you look to the left and right, and you're like, all right, who's down the ride?
Right. I definitely, like, personally, I've only been spending time with, like, I have a close-knit group of girlfriends, and we've still been partying and kicking it. Now, we just do it at each other's houses. We can't go out anywhere, but, you know, we're having a good time through all of this, just keeping each other's spirits up. And even though we might be in the house all day, we're still talking to each other and communicating. I've been in a lot of like group chats with my whole family. Like you said, like you end up drawing closer to the people who are really, truly important to you. And just in the world of like casual dating, I think that will also take a huge effect. Like you said, somebody's getting pregnant out there, probably. You know, there's going to be some lockdown hookup kind of situations where you and I don't know what people's habits are. Maybe you were normally casual, but you might want to isolate it down to like, you know, to get the bottom. You know, we're not using profanity. But, you know.
Yeah, fuck it. We can curse.
Okay, the bottom bitch. You know, you're just gonna be fucking with the bottom bitch. So
demonetized. You see what I do for y'all? Yo, shout out to my Patreon. It's right down there in the lower left-hand corner. This is going to get demonetized. I'll throw the live stream up there. Click. It's right there. You see it? Blow. Shout out to JT Cavett the second. MTR, have you checked out this Aaron Fontaine dude? Ever since he dropped his article, all kind of black men in the manosphere have been shadow banned. No, I haven't. I don't know who that is. Oh, you're referencing that I might be shadow banned. I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
So when I posted this, it seems as though we have people in there that are saying that they didn't get notifications. Guys, let me know. Did you guys see our notification for this, or did you just see this on your feed and you just clicked into this? Let me know that right now. JT Cavett the second again. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat as well. I might have to do some research on that. I mean, we'll see. All the more reason why I'm trying to begin to push the Patreon, because they just don't respect the type of content that I do up here. Mark. Yo, MTR, you hype for
Final Fantasy
you fucking right, I am. Please, my G. It's the best video game of all time. Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 1. What you know about it? You weren't born yet, most likely. You were 3. Okay. All due respect to you, my king. All right. My G, I meant. As well as put your foot up and enjoy a game until the virus pass. Yeah. So the thing is like, yo, I played like 4 matches of Call of Duty Warzone. It's an amazing experience, by the way. So like I played like 4 matches of that. So yeah, it's like, you know, what are the things that you can do in order to help you mentally stay on top of your game? I also think like one of the things in your questions, I feel like the consideration and the importance of mental health will have to be reestablished, because there's a lot of people that are starting to realize the negative effects of being alone, and they also don't really understand how often that someone is always around them.
Yeah. I think the more, as they were shutting things down, as they're shutting down restaurants and then they're shutting this down, they're shutting it. So people are thinking in their mind like, oh, well, all right, so I can't go to the restaurant. I can still go to the gym and work out, right? Then they shut that down. It's like, well, daggone, well, I can't wait to go to the barbershop and talk about this. Then they shut that down. And so people are really isolated, and you're really only going to be around the people who you really trust, you know? So I think that isolation does become very, very evident, or even just feeling like isolated within your own home. Like, you know, you're confined to this space where there may be roommates or family members in your household that you may or may not interact with very often. But now that you have all of this free time, depending on what industry you work in, and you know, people have been saying things like, wow, people are getting more acquainted with their dogs. This is going to affect people's relationships. I think it'll be in good and bad ways. I don't know. Like, somebody might be like, you know, I really want to divorce you now. Like, I really can't stand your ass at this point. Now, I'm sick of it. It was different when I could go to work and escape you. But, you know, on the flip side, it could also have the opposite effect. I don't want to throw any negative vibes out there, but it is absolutely life-changing, thought-provoking, a situation I didn't even imagine was realistically happening until like yesterday. Facts.
And shout out to everyone in the chat that are Second Amendment supporters. I've let you guys know this down into the chat. You know, I grew up in New York where they have very strict laws. Now I'm not in New York, I'm in the Midwest. And after the Nipsey shit, I said, it's time for me to protect myself the best way that I think that is available to me. And yeah, so I'm a supporter as well. I'm locked, loaded, and ready to go just in case shit hits the fan. You see what I'm saying? You too?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Hold up. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
Don't worry about what I'm packing.
All right. Shit. That was it's a large metal object. Salute. Everyone's coming in the building. Listen, so I saw some of you guys' suggestions. It seems like there's a lot of people that did not get a notification, so I just did. And shout out to Queese again. Yeah, I'm hyped for it, but here's the problem. I work so hard for you, motherfuckers. Okay, I probably won't be able to play it until like 2023. You see what I'm saying? I will probably not have time for a long time unless this coronavirus takes us all out of communication with each other until 2021. Even guys, even as a channel, I have to reassess how I even do live streams, because usually I do them with a guest. So I have to reassess that, because, you know, like even I was like to Felicia before she came here, I said, yo, have you been practicing social distancing? Like, because I don't want to come through and then in a couple of days. I brought
these gloves. These are mine. I keep these in my purse.
Yeah. Right? Facts.
Came up in here and was like, hey.
Facts. Yeah. I'm not trying to catch this shit. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to catch that.
But, you know, it's an honor, because that means that I'm one of your cleanest guests.
Well, I appreciate you coming through, and I knew that it was going to be a fantastic conversation. It just sucks that we didn't get notifications. Yeah. So Jonathan says, yo, MTR, can you re-notify the stream? So guys, I just posted it right now on my community chat. Yo, come through. Let's see if we get additional people up in here. Here's what I think it is. I think it's YouTube. I think it's not, but it's also not YouTube that's trying to shadow ban me or something like that. I've been seeing sporadically throughout my YouTube feed content creators complaining that people have been not getting notifications. So I think it's a YouTube thing, but not a YouTube thing because of the type of content that I do. Excuse me. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I feel like as someone who works for an organization that works on digital products, there's a lot of misunderstandings that can come across as a company targeting you. I'm gonna repeat that again. There's a lot of misunderstandings that are inhibiting capabilities through technological imperfections that can come across in the media as somewhat the company is targeting you. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I don't think that they're targeting me, especially because like my content is a little bit different than the typical red pill content provider. Salute to everyone in the building right now. You know, irrespective of a notification gone out, y'all are here right now. So we're going to continue to have this conversation.
Because it ain't about where you're from, it's about where you're at.
That's facts.
So thanks for being here and here.
Hey, let them know.
Right. Thanks for being here.
Let them know.
Right here. You could have been anywhere.
Hey.
You could have been on anywhere else. You could have been, you know, hubbing.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
Yeah.
Tubing of other sorts. But
tubing.
Here, you know what I'm talking about. Tubing.
No.
They know what I'm talking about. The tubes. Anyways, you're here. Thanks, guys.
Listen, just real quick, I want to address this as well. Guys, listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna keep it funky with you. So I see here like Modern Warfare and GTA. If anyone plays Xbox One, feel free to exchange. You know, I see Marcus here, Warzone on point. Who want that work? Feel free to exchange, you know, gamer tags down in here. You know, this is a community. You know, I consider you guys family. Continue to exchange contact and make sure that you guys can continue to brainstorm and think about, you know, how you become better men on other platforms, but also monitor the amount of time that you're spending on these. And I hate to sound like a goddamn pops over here. I hate to sound like a father. Monitor the time. I'm spending more time than ever now that I have a little bit more time in building up different components of the channel. I recorded like 4 different videos today, pre-recorded. Okay. Mm-hmm. I could have spent a lot of that time on Call of Duty. I could have spent it on Warzone because it's a fantastic experience. Mm-hmm. But I spent it in something that is not time consuming, and it is time investing.
Yeah.
You're not going to make money. You're not going to make anything to increase your understanding of your why, your meaning, your purpose, playing in someone else's world, playing in someone else's sandbox. Mm-hmm. What are the things that you're doing? What are the things that you're doing to make sure that you are creating a why for yourself, a meaning for yourself? How much time in a day are you focused in on determining what your purpose is and how you're going to make your purpose happen?
Right. Right.
Focus in on that.
Mm-hmm.
Really focus in on that. Because, like, you know, a lot of this time I could be spending doing a lot of frivolous shit.
Yeah. Lots of frivolity.
A lot of frivolity.
Frivolity, yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
It's a word.
It's a frivolity. As long as people understand it, it's a word. You know what I'm saying?
It's a word. That's all. See, that's how I invest my time.
Yeah.
Is expanding my vocabulary. We need a thesaurus sometimes.
Sometimes we just need a thesaurus. Shout out to JT. Like the video on the way in. Content creators getting shadow banned, and we want to support the content. Listen, yeah. You know, and there's more ways to support. You guys see the patreon.com/MT and all. I got some. Listen, that's why I'm also saying, like, I've been spending a lot more time than usual planning the content. I got some dope shit. I don't want to like ignite myself right now.
Oh shit!
I got some shit planned. Not only from like a video perspective, but like from a where this shit can go perspective. Like. And I want to teach you guys, like, after I do it, I want to show you guys my thought process. I want to give you the toolkit. Like, I want to give you the vision to continue to help inspire you guys. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I am no smarter than anybody who's on the stream. I was an average student, right? Like, I'm an average, right? Like, I'm an average student. I am no smarter. I am no different than any of you guys. I had humble beginnings, single parent home. My pops raised me. He's a school teacher. You see what I'm saying? And I came from my situation, and I have now, you know, it took me till 24 years old to make more money than my pops. Okay. It didn't take me long. Okay. And now that I have that, now I'm able to take my financial education and my financial stability and then create new things, new avenues, new adventures. This is a new avenue. This is a new adventure. You see what I'm saying? But I'm letting you guys know. And I had a mentor. He's actually one of my really good friends. I had a mentor way back when I was studying for a standardized test. I am terrible at standardized tests. I just don't think like these test preparers because I don't think that I'm dumb, but I'm not like incredibly on like, you know what I'm saying? Like one of these super geniuses. Don't let the idea or people telling you in your life that you can't amount to something or the C's that you might get or the average scores that you might get detract you for your own level of intelligence, because there were people that would respect your journey. There were people that will respect your grind, respect your hustle. Hard work will beat intelligence 10 out of 10 days of the week.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to tell you.
Absolutely.
It will beat it. There's so many people that I know that have a degree of intelligence that is like, damn, how, like they'll walk into a room, look at a problem on the board, figure the shit out. But if they're lazy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let me bring an analogy a little bit different. There's some people that are born with a muscle building gene where they don't have to do much. Motherfuckers pop out the womb and they got like a six pack and muscles, right? Like, and they don't have to do much and they can, right? Like, and I've seen them. I have friends that are just like them. They actually have fitness empires and they don't work out a lot. So I'll leave it there. They just genetically gifted. Okay. But there's other people that are not as genetically gifted, but they work at it. And they build on top of that and they eat correctly and they're doing the workouts and they're letting their body heal, right? They're getting enough sleep and they're working at it and they look fantastic. So I say all that to say, irrespective of where you were placed or the degree of privilege or like all of the bullshit that people try to complain about, that it's not equal or what have you, take what you have and make the best out of your situation. Because I know I am. Yeah. No one's going to feel sorry for you. If you look back on your life, no one will ever feel sorry for you in the things that you accomplished and the legacy that you put back on your life. Yeah. Except for you. Absolutely. Except for you. So I'll end the point because this is not the topic of the video. I'll end the point. Just like... Take stock of everything that you're doing in life. Take stock and then say, what am I doing to consume entertainment and what am I doing to invest in myself? And really come to an understanding of the two and begin to reduce. If it's a problem in your life, begin to reduce the consuming. and begin to enhance the investing.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's not that far off topic, because in this time where you have all of this time alone, you're at home, you have this time to reflect and to take action.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times we like to talk about, I would do this, I could do this, if only, maybe, tomorrow. There's a quote that I wrote on my mirror. I put these little Post-its all around to like motivate myself, just to be like that little memento, just to remind you. And the one that's in my bathroom, it says, one day or day one. And what that comes down to is you can talk about it or you can be about it. And you can say, you know what, I want to get a 6-pack, or I want to start my own business, or I want to gain more knowledge at these things. And when you surround yourself with a lot of other people who are those one day people, because one day people love to talk about one day.
Facts.
One day.
Facts. One day people. I like
one
that.
Day. Like you could be the one day people, or you could be the day one people. And the day one people are putting their feet to the pavement. So if you want something, like you were saying, you have to go get it. You apply yourself. This is an ideal opportunity. And I also feel like it is necessary because really what this comes down to, what's really happening around the world is that only the strongest survive.
Facts.
It is a fact. It is evident. And I feel that sometimes things happen in the world that manifest, and it's supposed to enlighten you. You're supposed to recognize, well, I was just kind of walking around blind, not really paying attention, not focusing, not applying myself, not investing myself in the goals, in all of those one day conversations. Turn those one day conversations into day one conversations.
Facts.
While you have all this time at home, you can work out every single day. You should read or run every day.
Facts.
Read or run every day in some way. Or, I mean, maybe you don't literally read, but you know what I'm saying? Like you should be
like Audible.
Yeah.
Like consume every day.
Consume.
Learn every day.
So what I have to balance myself out with, because I'm spending all day at home just streaming. I have to I'm streaming like Disney Plus. I watched the whole Mandalorian.
Oh, like, okay. When you say streaming, I'm thinking like live streaming.
Oh, no, not live streaming.
You're consuming streams.
I'm consuming streams. Yes. Okay. I'm not putting it out, but I'm taking it in, binge watching, you know, all that stuff. But I have to throw some documentaries in there. Yeah. Because what I love about documentaries, it's like you reading, you're doing all of this studying, and you could just put this on and let it be the ambience in the room, you know. But definitely, like, you know, applying yourself. I kind of get sick of myself if I'm just sitting there snacking all day, sitting on the couch, not growing. I can't stand to be still. I'm not a stagnant type of person. I have to keep moving. I have to keep working towards something, you know, or applying myself towards something, working on a project. I'm an artist, so I always have all these art projects that I can work on, or, you know, write that business plan, or, you know, look into it. Just Google some stuff. Don't just be the consumer. You know, it's very easy to be a consumer. That's very easy. That's kind of like what they want you to do. They just want you to be a consumer.
There's comfort in consuming. There's comfort in consuming.
I witnessed that when I went to Costco.
Okay.
So, I mean, the mayhem, and the thing that about this whole toilet paper gate, or whatever people are calling it, people are going crazy, like going out and grocery shopping and buying all of this stuff. Why didn't you already have that in your house? My house is already prepared. Well, so let me answer that. I have a condo and I have a space problem. It's a good space in here. Yeah. But like, I have nowhere to store a whole bunch of things of toilet paper. Right. So I'm like, oh shit. Why is there no toilet paper left? Like, and so, see, that's why you have to. That's where the cohabitate happens with men and women and neighbors and stuff. It's like, well, I always have 2 months' supply worth of toilet paper, and it's just me in here. So it's like, I mean, it wouldn't that you don't need that much toilet paper to have 2 months worth of toilet paper for yourself. As a guy, women use too much. That's why I keep 2 months worth of toilet paper.
They use too much.
Keep it clean.
You know. Listen, that's why I'm starting to tell everybody that comes into my crib. I'm like, listen, you gotta go to the bathroom. No shitting. Shitting not allowed. Not allowed. I'm about to start rationing my shit. I'm about to start rationing my toilet paper. Like, I'm gonna take the toilet paper out. Like, oh, you about to go in? Here goes 3 sheets. 3. Do whatever you gotta do. You're only getting 3. Times is rough.
You need a sign that says no shits.
No shits.
No shits.
No shits. Zone. No shits. Zone. They know better. They know better. Listen. Shout out to everyone that's coming through and commenting. I appreciate my family tonight. Listen, if you didn't know, this is Red Cup Talk. We have real conversations over here. Salute to you, Felicia. I appreciate you for you coming through. Salute to everyone that's out there. Blow! Let's get it.
It's FDZ Graffiti in the building, people.
Oh, yeah. You have your contact information. You want that?
Yeah. Somebody asked earlier. But
listen, you want to type it down in there?
Yeah.
Right
here.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
And then while she's doing that, I see Well Demolished. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Where's Solo TV 84? Listen, where is Solo TV 84? Oh, I think you mean in terms of shadow banning. You know, I listen to Solo's channel all the time. He's so entertaining. Shout out to Solo. He I think he is, like, he says that he's shadow banned. I'm pretty sure that he is. Let me tell you how I know. Is because when I try to add Solo, like if I'm uploading a video and Solo is in the video and I'm like adding Solo, his name doesn't show up. Black Ram's name shows up. I also did a video not too long ago. METV was a live stream on Black Ram's channel. Feel free to go back in my videos to take a look at that live stream. Solo's name doesn't show up when I add it on YouTube. It's the weirdest shit. So I'm like, oh shit, I think he actually is shadow banned. But yeah, Solo and I, here's the thing. Solo is too popping for me to come on my channel. Okay. I haven't asked him. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like, so many people are, I'm new in this game. You see what I'm saying? So like me telling people to come on their channel, I still feel like people are like, well, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'll go on his channel and I'll, do my mediocre thing up there and do my thing. But I feel like I need more pull before I start to get the heavy hitters up onto the channel. Shout out to Menzi. The links of the articles are of the link to the channel. Oh, I'm not on it, but Black Ram is. I can see that if there's a list of red pillars that are getting shadow banned. I see Coach Greg. I can see Coach Greg Adams being on it as well. Okay, thanks, Menzi. Menzi, appreciate you, my G, wholeheartedly. I'm going to be emailing you soon.
I got a little gem for you.
Just one quick. Let me go back down to the bottom of the chat. Just real quick. Save that gem for me.
I gotta get a gem.
Sean Bills, what's good, baby? How are you, my G? How are you? MTR, what's up? We need more Vag Talk videos. Yes, y'all do. Real quick. Listen, let me talk to you guys. I did a video not too long ago about how to make money during the recession. I gave you guys a link to a fee-free stock trading application called Robinhood. Okay. That link to that app is down in the description below. If you sign up with that link, I get a free stock. You get a free stock.
Ooh, I'm gonna do that right now.
Oh, yeah, go do that.
I'm doing it.
You need the link? Just go to my YouTube page and look at that.
I'm good.
Here's the thing, guys. A lot of people are running naked through the streets, blood dripping from their faces. This is the time that you go in, okay? I've put in, I'll keep it funky with you guys. I did it on my community chat. I put 5K in, okay? I got 5K up there right now. I got 1,000 invested, and I'm waiting for the next major dip. Okay, I'm waiting for the next major dip. Okay, you guys let me know of the folks that added me through the Robinhood app. You guys let me know. Maybe I should do a stream. You guys all email me, and I'm gonna do a separate, specific stream on how I'm working with the Robinhood. not for public consumption on my channel, but just for folks that signed up underneath my Robinhood ID. You guys let me know down in the description box down below if you are interested in that. Because I did see some comments, and I apologize, I'm busy throughout the week. I don't have time to answer every comment of folks that are like, okay, now that I got it, what do I do? You see what I'm saying? And I think, like, in my mind, where I did the original video, you already know what to do. But I think I take for granted that I am probably a little bit more educated on stocks, bonds, investing, ETFs, crypto, what have you. So with that being said, you guys email me and let me know. You already have my contact information, okay? But salute to Sean Bills. You had a point that you wanted to hit.
I wanted to share.
But just real quick, can you hold that for one more second? Because
you bring it up to just be like,
no, because I want you to remember the point. Because I don't want to squelch your point, but we are not at the bottom of the chat, and I want to make sure that I acknowledge some of these points, because when you ask me a question, it can often turn into 15-minute conversations because the questions are so good.
True. It is.
Okay.
All right.
And shout out to RZA. I've been watching you this lockdown. Just came back from a walk. Salud. Listen, continue to watch the video. And listen, during a lot of these live streams, we have subs call in as well. So if you guys are interested in calling in, you want to do live stream call in?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it could be fun. So like, you guys send me an email as well. Email down in the description box down below. And then folks that hit me up, if you want an opportunity to come on and we do like a question answer type of a thing, let's do it. All right. Salud to RZA. First time seeing you on the channel. We make sure that we invite both men and women on the channel. I got like 90% male viewers, just FYI. You know what I'm saying? But like at the same time, the conversations that we have are for both. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Salute to James Moore. You remember your question?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, hold it. Thank you. James Moore, what's good, my G? Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Yo, cuz, just don't shut. Bring it back. Yo, cuz, just sliding through the show love. Tell Felicia fine ass I said what up, though.
How you doing?
What's up with the validation? Okay. We talked about this. Oh, word. You see that smile that's strewn across her face? Okay. I'm fucking with you. Shout out to James Moore. I appreciate you, my G. Thank you so much again for the $5 super chat. I see Marcus down there. Marcus, I'm still getting with my macros. Listen, you know what macros mean?
No.
Macronutrients. So it's a way to judge kind of different components of molecules that are coming into your body that have substantial effect or output onto what your body looks like. Those 3 macronutrients. And this is my bro science way of explaining it. So and all my fitness nuts that are down in the comment section going crazy, let me put that caveat. Carbohydrates, proteins, carbs, proteins, fats.
Yeah.
So you manage how much carbs, proteins, and fats that you're ingesting throughout a day. And there's like magic numbers for like reducing weight or gaining weight based off of your maintenance level.
Now, see, I didn't even realize I actually have been doing that recently.
Oh, you have?
I've gone vegetarian, vegan.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, because I was going to be doing well, I don't know. Can I mention? No, I'm not even going to mention it. I was going to be doing a shoot with. You can mention that. It's up to you. No, I don't want to because as of right now the shoot has been canceled. But it was like it's a shoot with a major celebrity for a major fashion line.
It's dope.
Yeah, but I wanted to make sure that I was like high fashion skinny. Thanks. I used to do like I still do some runway and stuff. But anyways,
how tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
You got heels on right now too.
I took them off. But yeah, when I have heels
came in
on,
here with
I'm
heels
like
on.
6'4".
Yeah, she walked up by me. I was like, motherfucker, who the fuck? Hold up. That's what and I'm 6'2".
But anyways, so rewind, like bring it back to the point that I was making. I've gone vegetarian, vegan, and I say vegetarian, vegan because I'll eat vegetarian at certain times. I'll eat vegan at certain times, but it really is about, you know, like self-monitoring, like how things affect your body. Right. Mm-hmm. And so what I was doing is that I would really like bring it all the way down to like just eating basically what I need. And then adding to my diet what I feel like I may be lacking. Like I have to have some protein sometimes. So if I've been going vegan, I switch over to vegetarian, and then I might eat some fish occasionally, just paying attention to like what I'm taking into my body. Got to have your vitamin crown. Thank you very much.
I heard vitamin crown burns corona. No?
I'm not quoting that, but feels right. Feels like it burns. Burns. Smooth burn, I guess.
Well, and the thing is, and I appreciate you sharing that too. You know, I think like, so are you also doing that to lose? Like, you have fitness, like weight loss goals? Is it something that you're trying to hit or meet? Because I know, like personally, outside of this, like you work out.
Yeah,
as well, right?
Yeah,
like,
I work out regularly. Yeah. But like part of it really, like honestly, what I have been focusing on is my digestion. It's like, so if you want to get different results, you have to do something different. You have to have like a different approach. I mean, fortunately, I'm glad that me being on like this really healthy lifestyle has lined up with this whole coronavirus thing. So I felt like I was already prepared. I feel confident in, you know, my personal health, my fitness health, you know, that even if I were to come in contact with it, I feel like I would survive it because I'm in very good shape and I'm a healthy person. But sincerely, like, why is it that we have to wait for something like a pandemic to go around and make changes in your life that are good for you?
Listen, this is a time of reassessment. Now I will say, the one thing that I hate about this pandemic is that my gym is closed, and all week I have not worked out the way that I needed to, because I'm just readjusting. Now with that being said, I know I got to get it on it relatively soon. But I like lifting weights. I like lifting up things that are way heavier than me. Calisthenics, although like I love a good muscle up, right? I love a good pull up, you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, like there's something about the feeling of resistance outside of gravity that I love, right? So that's taking me back a little bit, but I mean, it is what it is. Shout out to Will Demolish. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Strength equals being a man in times of crisis. Salute to you, Will. Wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that we got a lot of good comments regarding your website. I don't know if you've seen them.
What were they? No, I didn't see.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is that, like, you know, and that goes back to the topic of the channel is that, like, you know, when you are, you know, I've seen this. I forget exactly who. I'm
sorry. It's a comment. We gotta talk about it. It's just y'all are clowning.
Demonetized. Demonetized. I hate you, motherfuckers. Say it.
He said, nut is a good source of protein, quote unquote. The Windy City native. That's your reference.
Motherfuckers
right
demonetizing me left and right. They read the comments too.
Oh man.
Salud. For the fuckery.
Yes, okay. For the fuckery. We need that.
Jesus.
Nothing like a good old fuckery sometimes.
Getting back to the last, so this goes into the strength of the. I also too, you guys didn't see this. She just nonchalantly just pointed to the screen and pointed to that to that exact comment. That's why I started laughing, because she was just like, anyway. The thing is like, you know, this is what separates the men from the boys. It separates up from down. This separates positive from negative. Is like, you know, who are the ones that can be leaders through the bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Do you believe in what he's saying?
Strength. Well, I mean, I said it earlier. The strong. This is exactly a circumstance where the strongest survive. But
he's not saying being a woman, right? Like,
I mean, like I can't speak for a man because I'm not a man.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying that is relevant. This is literally a circumstance where the strongest survive. So strength in being a man in a time of crisis, absolutely. I mean, that's like, you know, who goes to war usually, like in the history of mankind up until recently, it was men. Like men would leave the household and the women would stay at the house and in their villages or communities, and then the men would go out and they would have to defend their community, or, you know, excuse me, hold on. Sorry. So do I believe
making sure you didn't catch the corona over there?
Yeah, man, the crown is keeping the corona away. But yeah, so what's the question? Was it yeah? Yes. Yeah, that's the answer. Yep. I agree.
Shout out to World Demolish. Thank you so much again for the $2 super chat. Yeah, Jonathan. No shit zone.
No shit zone. They know better. They know better.
Hey.
Stop eating beef so you don't have to shit so hard. Save you toilet paper.
I think you should continue to eat beef as long as your heart doesn't beat hard after you eat it. And then you should probably stop. Shout out again to FDZ Graffiti. Feel free to go up there and show your girl some love, support, and respect. She has art, okay? And you know, guys, you already know, if you guys have artistic talents, if you guys have some type of pursuit that involves creativity, you know, I think about doing like a creativity cast stream. You know what I'm saying? Just have different people come on. We talk about what are the things that they're into outside of, you know, their 9 to 5, their side hustle. Maybe it's their main hustle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We just come on. We do like a quick like talent show. Like, yo, come on, talk about, you know what I'm saying, who you are, where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, put your link down in the description and let's build up off of that. That, you know, let's see what you're doing. You see what I'm saying?
So can I touch on that subject? Go through the subject and bring it back to the point that I was going to make.
I want you to do it.
All right. So there's a documentary that I was watching called Year Million.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like an actual date, but it's saying like really far into our future, how AI is going to like become a part of us, to become a part of our community,
mm-hmm.
and how artificial intelligence will take over a lot of jobs, which will give us a lot more liberty. And so though there was sort of like this undertone of like this doomsday of what do they call it? Singularity, or what is it when they become self-aware?
Singularity.
Yeah, singularity. There you go. So when they were talking about sort of like the doom that can happen with that, and it can go this way or that way, whatever. But bringing that back to the creative aspect, they also tried to touch on like, you know, can computers like create art, blah, 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 whatever. But I think the thing that was just really interesting about that is how that I watched that document today in this coronavirus crisis, and in this time where if you work in IT or you work in a field where you can work from home, it may not affect you so much. But all of the people who kind of work in these other industries, like bartenders and whatnots. Thank you, Minty. Appreciate that. Shout out. Thanks for the love. Check me out. Yeah, man. I think the creative thing is dope, but I think it's also really important, like you were talking about, like self-investing, like build within yourself whatever your talent is or your passion is, because you know, you got to hide your wife, hide your kids, because these robots are out here snatching up everybody.
What?
Yeah. That's just how I ended my point. the drink. The drink's kicking in. I'm sorry. It happens every time. It's like I hit the Corona.
All right, well, we gotta fire up the questions now that it's entered your bloodstream. Okay. I'll just say I am very upset that notifications didn't go out to people. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody that's in here right now, but I just want to keep it funky. I am upset at YouTube right now. She gonna forget her question. Did you ask me a question?
The question was to bring up the documentary. If you'd seen the documentary,
which documentary?
Year
no, I haven't.
Million. Oh, you have to watch it. National Geographic did it. It's on Disney Plus. If you got that, I get my Disney Plus on, watching all my Star Wars stuff, geeking out. 100%.
Are you a geek?
I'm a nerd.
How do you nerd? There's actually, I feel like in the chat right now, there's actually a lot of people that would take a look at my sweatshirt and show me respect. Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. This is one of my favorite sweatshirts, by the way. I just, I've gotten to a point where I'm like, yo, right before I do a video, I'm like, okay, what shirt or sweatshirt should I put on? I've gotten to a point now where this is the type of shit I wear always, and I just stopped caring. Just stop caring because this is me. This is me.
And
I wear the same clothes every day. That's what happens when you grow up in a single parent household and two men. You just wear the same shit every day. Okay, it's just what happens. It's just what happens. I think a large component of the way that I grew up is now indicative of how I manage finances and how I think of myself. Right? The thing is like when you grow up in a space where you understand that the things that I wear or the things that I can buy will not improve how I think about myself and will not improve my level of happiness. Like once you get there and you experience that as a child and then you go out into the world and you start making decisions, like there's a lot of people that don't get there, right? Like there's a lot of people that don't understand like what that is and don't understand how privileged that they are being a citizen of a country like America, right? Like they don't understand the difference of being brought up in a surveillance state as like a China. They don't get it. They don't get the minute differences, or being raised in a place where you have no options. There's no options for you to get out of the shit that you're in. America, although not perfect, provides options. Provides a lot of options. Anyway, I get off on tangents sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit. What are the people saying?
The topic of the video was and I wanted to make sure that we hit it fantastically before we moved on, because I have like 37 other topics that we can hit that I think will be fantastically entertaining and good topics.
Let me ask you this, okay? If we could just take it like back to like some raw, wiping your ass with a leaf, shit in the woods, kind of survival type stuff. Are you prepared for that? Like, do you go camping? Could you live outside? Could you?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
No, because I've never killed an animal.
Really?
I've never killed an animal. I don't have any idea how to skin an animal. I don't have any idea. Is that what you're talking about? Like hunting?
Yeah. I mean, like, could you live in the wilderness?
No, I'd be gone very, very quickly.
I fortunately like grew up like that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I'm I always lived inner city, always had one foot in the country. Like I grew up like, milking cows.
So you've killed animals?
Yeah.
You snapped like chickens' necks?
Well, I plucked it.
Okay.
But I mean, like I was a part of the process, like going fishing, and like my grandpa would, he didn't take me hunting. I was too young, but he would hunt. And I understand my mom's also a butcher. So when it comes to like, I would know how to kill and skin an animal. I would prefer to eat like birds or fish rather than a mammal, but also like knowing how to start a fire and set up a tent and understanding like what poison ivy is and stuff like that. Like,
what water can you drink in the wild? Like, how do you know that is fresh water? That type of stuff. I think that those are like basic things. Like, hey, people out there, if you haven't gone camping, do it.
I think, I grew up in New York, so that's the concrete jungle. I know more about dealing with New York than I know about dealing with rural places. So like, if it came down to it and it was a animal in front of me and I'm starving, I'd have to do what I'd have to do. Right. But like at the same time, like, this is like when we talk about rebalancing, right? Like think about like animal rights activists in a time of peril, right? In a time when supermarkets shut down. No one's listening to them. You got to do what you got to do. If you cannot maintain yourself on the sustenance of the bushes and the berries and all that shit, you got to go back to the way that we were made. Okay. We're omnivores. Okay. All of that shit goes out the window. I got friends that are vegetarians and they do that because of animal rights shit, right? A component of it. They love animals. They love it, and I get it. And it's because we have supermarkets.
I got but that's such a
supermarkets. I was there the other day and there was a maximum of meat that you can buy. And it's like, oh, this is only week 2 of the pandemic hitting America and it getting weird. Imagine month 2. Now, that's not to say, I don't want to cause fear. I think that our supply chain is set up in a way that we shouldn't be fearful, except for toilet paper in the short term. I think they'll figure that out. But at the same time, just sit in that aura and that understanding of your privilege in a supermarket. We think of that as normal. A supermarket is something that's 100 years old. That's 100 years old and some change. That's 100 years. That's everybody that's in this chat has an understanding of what a supermarket is. What does it bring to the table? Doesn't have an understanding of the supply chain that makes it work. But because of a supermarket, you don't know what it looks like to kill an animal for sustenance.
Right. You don't know what, you have no idea. You have no idea.
None.
Whatsoever.
You do though.
Yeah.
I don't.
But I mean, that's because it depends on like your upbringing and your family, right? Like, so if you're, the average person is like city folks don't go out in the woods and do things like that, or they have to be dragged out there. They don't do it voluntarily. I've always felt like it was like an essential thing for you to understand how to exist as a human creature in your element. Like, you should know about your environment. You should know about, just like how to just sleep outside and next to a fire. Like, you should know how to build a fire. I just feel like that is like just a basic 101 thing. If we didn't live in the luxury and all the privilege that we have as society, these are things that you would know how to do. You would learn these things as a child, even, and it's something that I actually enjoy doing. I know like a lot of Black women especially are like, oh no, I'm not going out in the woods. No, I'm not doing that. I love it. I enjoy it. It's the only time you really truly get to see the sky. Like, you can see the stars. Like, I have a tent where you can take the top off of it. And so you can sleep under the stars, literally. It's just such a wonderful experience. But at the same time, with the way things are looking, they're dispersing the National Guard and all that stuff. I'm not going to have nobody lock me in my house. I would rather be out in the wilderness. I'd rather be on a beach, or I'd rather be camping in some area where I'm not being held down like that and just being subjected to society in that way.
Now getting into back into the topic of the video, do you think men and women are more codependent when situations of peril or great change occur? Or do you feel like women become less independent? Or do you feel like men become less independent?
I think it depends on your background. I think it depends on your storage, what supplies you have. I know that even though I feel like I am prepared as far as you know, having food and supplies and things like that. I am like drawing close to my family and my friends, and then like specifically in reference to like a man. Yeah, I think that we do have a tendency to kind of like lean into that person that you can rely on, who makes you feel safe. Because like you said, when you got your back up against the wall, you want somebody who's going to have your back. So I want somebody in my corner who's going to have my back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like normally, right, like in times of great prosperity, we all start to begin to favor our individuality. Agree, disagree?
I agree. Absolutely.
Right. So this is like, you know, this is like when you hit win after win after win, right? And you just out there. At this point, you roll the die, you feel like you're going to win anyway, right? And within that feeling comes a confidence that you can do it, that you can get it. When you hit that loss, when you hit that L, you start to look in and around to your left and to your right, in order to see what support that you have. So I think what I've just heard you say is that, yes, there is a degree where you will look for a companion that is a leader through peril.
Like Wicked Nut said, guns and buns.
What?
I got the buns, he got the guns. Guns and buns.
So you think it's a good exchange?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's like if I got toilet paper, but people trying to rob me for my toilet paper and you got a gun, then, you know, let's do this back to back, you know, bang, bang.
And as soon as he's done shooting and he's just like, oh, I just killed a goddamn ton of people, I need to release this energy. You give him the buns.
Yep. We have burgers. Late night burgers.
There it is. She's a real one. Salute the quiz. She not lying. When I tell you, I gotta bring through those that will give us the real. It's a good exchange. It's a good exchange.
Absolutely. That's what we do.
And then after he's tired and covered in blood from killing everybody to make sure to protect your ass, you make sure that he climaxes exquisitely.
I make him a sandwich.
And that. And that.
See, I make him a sandwich.
Yeah. Beauty versus brawn. What type of sandwich are you talking about? Let him. But still, though.
A thigh sandwich.
Hey.
Yeah.
You give him the buns with extra mayo, or how I like to call it, viscosity.
Why?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You haven't heard that?
I was surprised. Take it back.
Listen, if you Google the word viscosity, it makes a lot of sense.
Shout
out, just real quick, shout out to Blue Pill Sam in the building. What up, bro? How are you? That really is Blue Pill Sam, by the way. You guys talk to him in the chat right now. We did a live stream with Sam, who's just like, you know what? I know that when I go on dates with women, you know, there's a large degree that I'll pay Ruth Crisp, and when we're done, and I give her a kiss on the cheek, good night, she might go become a drill socket for Chad or Tyrone.
Oh.
He's okay with that. And, you know, I respect.
Should you be okay with that, though? I don't think you should be okay with that. I don't, you know, whatever.
Sam, we might need you to come through.
If I was a guy.
Yeah. I'm not okay with that.
I just took this lady out for a very nice date, a very nice time.
Yes.
Like, this is where I feel like the nice guys should not settle for, like, coming last. Nice guys fuck that. Okay, if you're a nice guy out there, fuck finishing last.
Fuck
all right, fuck it, because you're a good man, and if she can't appreciate that, then move on. Don't let somebody continue to use you for a meal ticket. And in fact, if you're that Chad dude who's just got the D, now this is some things that where guys may not agree with me on this. Don't allow yourself to be a fuck boy.
There's some people that
value yourself.
There's some people that only, right, like they don't want to work, right, but they have talents in other areas, right? And let's face it, there's a lot of women that respect that talent of slang.
Of what?
Slang. I like to think about it in a way as this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, in every woman that I have a situation with, mm-hmm. you never want what's called a BDR. You know what that stands for?
No.
Bad dick report. You never want that. These Chads and these Tyrones, they never get that because that's all they got.
That's all they got.
That's all they got. All right.
Oh my God. Oh wow. I mean, it's a real life situation. I was talking to some of my girls about this, where it's like sometimes, and I don't know, guys probably have to do it too. It might be a circumstance where you might be with this person and this person to create that whole person, because this person does this and this person does this, and so you
guns and buns
with both of them. They got the guns, they got the buns, but some people don't have guns and buns.
Let me ask you a question. Is there something cardinal to that? Is there something cardinal to you know, an understanding that a woman is going to look for traits in a man that she identifies as masculine, and identifying what these traits are, maybe looks for an option that demonstrates those traits outside of an option that would actually be good for her long-term benefit in a relationship? Because the thing is,
that's a very loaded question.
Is it? We'll talk about it.
Okay. No, you go on it.
Because the thing is that I think that, like, what can happen is that of the girls that you talk to, there are those that have short-term benefit in a Chad or a Tyrone, mm-hmm. but they might have a long-term blue pill gentleman who's paying for Ruth Chris dinners. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, in my proclamation, mm-hmm. I will not be the person to fund you as you go through your short-term fun.
Yeah.
Oh, so you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I concur.
Okay.
I agree with that. Absolutely. Because it's just like, there comes a point, and I don't know, it's because I'm a little bit older. I think when you're kind of young and frivolous and it doesn't really matter, then, you know, it doesn't really matter. But when you start to think about, like, okay, what are you investing your time in? Who's going to be at your wedding? Who's going to be at your funeral? Right? Are you investing a lot of time in empty calories? Sometimes people are empty calories. Like, oh yeah, that cookie tastes good. But should you eat it every day, all the time for the next 10 years? When you could have had the cookie for a couple years, and then you start actually looking for a real meal. You know what I mean? I'm just at a point right now where it's like, I'm investing time into like real meal shit. Like, because like, I don't really need to waste my time, because as well, in this coronavirus situation, that Chad who's Mr. Gunslinger, okay, guarantee he's good at it. So he does it often, frequently with a lot of people. So I'd rather be with somebody who has an isolated circle, or like who is more not all out there like that. Who's not, you know what I mean? Just out there hitting with anybody and just anything. If I can be like real frank, I don't want to sleep with anybody I'm not sleeping with. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're also in tune with the understanding of the buns and the guns. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Because you just like, listen,
the buns and the guns.
Because you're willing to not succumb to the idea of independence if you can do it with someone else that can provide that degree of masculinity, because you don't necessarily want to do that. You want to have a degree of femininity. You don't feel like you want to have to protect somebody. You want to feel like you can nurture. You feel like you want to heal.
I'm an independent woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an independent woman, but I'm also a lady, you know, and I think that some women lose that balance where you're so gun-ho and you're so strong and you kind of like don't leave space for a man to be a man around you. You know what I mean? You're not going about things in a ladylike way where you allow a man to open your door without you being like, you don't have to open my door. I can open my own door. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some women who have kind of ruined chivalry in that way. And, you know, also by taking the nice guy for granted, or taking the guy who's like trying to go about things and not in this super playboy type fashion, you know, or maybe somebody who maybe he doesn't have game because he's not a player, you know? So I just think that it's important to be independent so that you are not a parasite. Okay, which goes back to the thought retirement plan. You don't want to be a parasite in somebody's life. You are supposed to come together in the guns and buns kind of way, where it's like we're both bringing things to the table. I'm not just telling you to set the table and provide everything, and I'm going to sit back here and wait. Oh, you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a balance. It's a give and take. It's a give and take. Whether it's a friendship, relationship, marriage, whatever, it really should be like a mutual beneficial circumstance,
as opposed to a bloodsucker.
Absolutely, as opposed to being a parasite. Someone
who thinks they ask, what do you bring to the table? I am the table. And really it's just, you know, drama and vagina. That's all you bring, right? That's all you bring. Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it a buck. What else?
Drama and vagina.
What are you teaching me? You should see the videos that I uploaded this week. I think you would actually appreciate. Maybe we'll go through and do a video review and have you react to what I'm saying in the video. That actually would be pretty fun.
Yeah, but listen, double layer
the reaction. I'll have you react to my video. You can be MTR, like the Felicia version of MTR. Shout out to Blue Pill Sam. I see your eye. Let's go. Listen, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Blue Pill Sam. I know we're practicing social distancing. However, bro, we got to have you back in here soon. The people want to hear from you. Listen, here's what I appreciate about Sam. Like at the end of the day, I know we say Blue Pill Sam. You really know what that means. Maybe I'll show you components of that video.
Sure.
Sam has a different understanding of the things that I talk about on this channel.
Uh-huh.
And I think like it's a shock to a lot of people. And you see like trolls in the chat that can't affect them. So that's at the end of the day, he's living a degree of his reality. However, shout out to Shao Kahn Shoulder Charge. Sam, I have specific videos of the red pill MGTOW content that we need to react to. And I want to get your in the moment, clear, consistent, and coherent feedback, because I think that it's important to pressure test your mindset versus this content that a large degree of the community has been founded off of. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So salute to Sam. Listen, I appreciate you, bro. Always. But like, I don't know if you've been seeing the comments. These comments are hilarious. Look at good. Oh, what's up, Get Swifty? How are you, bro? MTR, let Blue Pill Sam call in. Yeah, he can call in if you want. What? Wow. This is Sam. That's why she's been dependent. She uses to attachment. Wait, hold on, just real quick. Hold on, let me go back up. Hold on. I feel like the conversation was hilarious. You see anything?
Wait,
Facts. Nice guys should be drowning in cooch. They should be, but they're not, because the fairy tales are not true. She's not cool with it because mentally she's expecting something in return.
Are you talking about me personally, or like she as a whole? Of course, they can't answer that directly.
Well, that's Sam right there. We'll see what Sam's saying. Menzie says, I agree, Felicia. Too many women want me for the digging stick. Hey. I just picked up Java and Android. Salute, Menzie. Turn free time into a skill, which makes me money now. Menzie understands what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. He understands. Work on your why, gents. Work on your meaning. Marcus says, dead, LOL. I forget what we were talking about. I like her.
Guns and Buns. Guns and Buns are putting that on a shirt. I will rock that shirt.
Are you going to rock that shirt?
Send me that shirt.
Can you do something on FDZ graffiti?
Oh, yeah.
Can you make some shit?
I can't.
You know what? I forgot that you design shit.
Yeah, man. I designed
because, you know, I need to do T-shirts. I reached out to a subscriber, the Bot Factory. I don't see him down in here right now, but I got to reach back out to him because I've been thinking about doing designs for T-shirts for the channel.
Okay, I like what Aunt Banks
what
said.
What Aunt say?
He said, why shouldn't you expect something if the woman expects something from you as well? And that's my point exactly. Like, let's just keep it real. Let's keep it real. It's a you know, and it's like, now you don't want to be like crude or nasty about it or yeah, you know. Yeah.
Refocusing the camera. Okay. All right. So you don't want to be crude or nasty on it?
You don't want to be crude or nasty. You don't be crude or rude or nasty about it. But like, honestly, yeah, like, you know, like if a guy's doing all this nice stuff for you, he's trying to court you.
Well, but there's a lot of women out there that are just looking for validation. Like they're just looking for someone to, it's like, if I see Instagram posts of like chicks that like show their entire insides on Instagram, and then have their next post complain about dudes DMing them. Like it's a weird dichotomy of different emotions that just don't make sense. At least own that you want affirmation, like that you want validation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think that takes some self-reflection. That takes some getting real with yourself in a way that might make you uncomfortable. And I think everybody needs to practice that sometimes. Since we're all in quarantine, everybody take a moment, look yourself in the mirror, do what Michael Jackson said. Start with yourself.
Man in the mirror.
Or woman in the mirror and make a change.
Make a change. Sam says, how dare she disrespect the blue pill? I don't know. I don't think Sam's talking to you. I think he's talking to people in the chat.
Oh, okay. Just like, well, did I? Wait, do women really expect suitors to have no expectations? That's what the suitor is suiting for. The suitors I think the problem is that you know, like people don't really aspire to actually like get married anymore. And it's like, so we get kind of lost in the sauce there because yeah, he's taking you out to dinner and he's doing all these nice things for you, but after he gets the buns, then he doesn't do those things anymore. So I think that's the battle. That's where you have like this battle of the sexes going back and forth, is because people have been taken for granted or taken advantage of, and nobody really knows what they want in the end game because everybody's got their guard up. Social distancing.
No, making sure that crown is fantastic.
It is fantastic. I still got some left in here. Don't reload. No reload yet, because I think I might switch over to wine. Here's the plan, guys. We're gonna switch over to wine because
I hate waking up hurting. God damn! Shit! Damn! You good?
Yes. Great.
You're enjoying this quarantine, aren't you?
Yes, I am. And I don't have to go to work in the morning.
Had the neck back.
Yeah. It's the best way to sleep away half the day. Cuts the quarantine in half if you don't wake up until noon.
I like your logic.
Quarantine has been half the time, twice the fun.
Half the time. Salute to everyone that's coming through in the chat. I'm seeing so many people. Yeah, this is crazy. I know the majority of you guys have not received a notification, but it's okay though. We're back in here. We're here. We're doing the damn thing. I say we do like maybe 30-ish more minutes, 15, 30-ish more minutes. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm cool. I need a snack. I'm getting kind of hungry. Got the munchies.
Shh. You got the munchies? What you got the munchies from? Just like natural hunger? Fifth?
Where'd you go, Fifth? Man, I was looking for the Fifth.
The Fifth?
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
Pleading. Okay.
Pleading for the Fifth to come here. Come here, please, Fifth.
There it is.
I don't know. Can we talk about that? Do you talk about that?
Let's also, guys, just real quick, before getting me before getting me completely demonetized. Drop a like on the video. Show me some I don't know how many likes. I don't know what the likes are doing right now. Let me know what that's crazy. Look at that. You got the live stream count right there. That's crazy. Let me let me drop a like on the video. I will wholeheartedly appreciate y'all. I just dropped in. I created a hotkey on my soundboard. That's my Patreon right there. Feel free to go out to my Patreon and see all of the benefits. This live stream right here, all the fun that we're having, all the comments that are in it, probably won't be up on the channel. It will probably just be specific up to the live stream. Okay. I'm going to start switching my channel in a way to where the live streams are done in the moment. Whoever's in the live stream, and then I'll put the content on the Patreon to have additional content up there that makes sense for the type of things that I'm trying to do. So would wholeheartedly appreciate the support on the Patreon. Anything helps support the channel. Okay. Salute to all the comments. You see anything that's interesting?
I like that everybody's enjoying themselves amongst themselves as well. I've seen some funny comments in there. Oh wait, bun and run. Oh no.
If she gives the bun and run, I don't want her.
The bun and run.
Listen,
not the runny buns.
Listen.
Nobody wants the runny buns.
Look at Sam. I treat her so good. She questioning life.
She's just like, oh my God, I can't. What? I don't even.
Oh God. Fabulous voice. Nice. Yo, Blue Pill Sam is down in there. Nice guys win in the end. Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Blue Pill Sam, stop it. Look at it. You promoting all the women in the channel. Blue Pill Sam will always win. Listen, the crazy shit is when I look back at the comments, when Blue Pill Sam came in, look at Grego was saying he ain't blue pill. Yeah, you think he's a blue red pillar? What's going on?
Is it a purple pill? What would purple pill be?
Listen, women can get the purple anytime, at any time. Listen, hilarious.
Is purple?
Purple pill is like purple pill is understanding the nature that is exhibited. However, you still say F it and end up married or end up in a situation against your will. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess so. I think that seems like the majority of what people kind of experience, though, isn't it? Right.
Well, from a numbers perspective, yes, because 50% of people end up getting divorced, and then of the 50% that are still married, you got to question how many are just there under the mantra of it's cheaper to keep her.
Wrap it up, snip it, tuck it.
Wrap, snip, tuck,
burn it, plug it. I'm plugged personally.
That's like that Kanye song.
What?
Wrap it, it on the automatic. No? Okay. You know what songs I'm talking about. Weird reference.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Daft Punk. I'm thinking of Daft Punk.
Oh, listen, platinum pill. Is that a thing? Is that diamond pill? That should be the name of the channel.
And popping pills.
Listen, Hood Magic says blue pill will lose in the end. And Banks says, what I say on the channel a lot, absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's why you shouldn't be a nice guy. Once a person feels like they got it, they will take your presence for granted. I wholeheartly appreciate that.
I think Mr. Know-It-All is saying what it is, though. You could be a nice guy without being a pushover. That's the truth.
No.
It's the truth.
I think a nice guy who's not a pushover is a good guy. I think people should prescribed to being generally good. However, sometimes in order to command respect, you cannot be nice.
I don't feel like you should spend enough time that you even have to apply that much energy. It's like when you feel like I'm gonna be myself, right? I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be understanding, and I'm gonna be independent, and I'm gonna be real. When I feel like somebody wants to try to insult my intelligence by either being manipulative, deceitful, or rude, or whatever, I just don't fuck with them. I just don't deal with them. It's just that plain and simple. Like, just don't even invest that much time. And you're like, I don't care how good it is. If they treat you like that, and I mean, you can flip around and treat them like that if that's what you want to do. But I don't even bother to invest that much time and energy into a negative exchange, because I just don't want that in my life personally. That's just me.
I think that when a situation hits you, you have a wide degree and variety of decisions to make.
Mm-hmm.
The decisions that you make to handle each unique situation will define how a person treats you, how they think of you, how they, right? Like, so like everything that you're saying, people will put into a bucket of, okay, this person is now ignoring me because I did X. And they'll think of, and they'll perceive you in a certain way. Mm-hmm. Okay, this person decided to get riled up and come at me and be aggressive to me. And then they'll put this in another bucket, right? Like, so it's like, there's a lot of ways that people can perceive the way that you are reacting to a stimulus. Perhaps in some of those specific situations, they'll gain more respect for you if you don't respond. Perhaps in those specific situations, they'll get more respect from you if you show an aggressive stance quietly. Mm-hmm. Perhaps they'll show more respect to you if you get in their face and tell them to back down. However, I think that there is truths within that. I think that more often than not, responding from a reactionary muscle or an emotional muscle will always lead you not ahead. It will always lead you in a place where you could be taken advantage of, and it makes you appear weak. If you respond,
if you're not like calculating your actions, it absolutely comes up as being reckless and weak. And I think that's for men and women.
Men and women, I think as long as a degree of strategy and intentionality goes into your decisions and the decisions that you're making, and as long as you consider that, honestly, the rowdiest one in the room is often the weakest because they're insecure or with how out of control they are in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the most insecure person, person regarding their looks in a situation will often say things to you like, don't I look good? Don't I look so good? Look at themselves in the mirror, this and a third.
It's a lot of the comparison and stuff. I was just talking to my girlfriends about that the other night because we had someone, like, we tried to hang out with somebody who wasn't a part of our normal group of friends. And you know, all my girls that's like in my immediate group, everybody does what they do to an expert level. Like, that's just my squad, right? Mm-hmm. So when there's somebody who comes into that space and they start feeling like self-conscious, like, oh wow, you model, oh wow, you're a singer, oh wow, you own your own business, and they, like, this particular young lady, like, she started to react in a way that was like passive aggressive, because it was a situation where she was going through like some anxiety induced aggression. So it's like, okay, something about you in me being in this room is making me feel anxiety or making me feel self-conscious. It's mm-hmm. tapping into my insecurities. And so then her reaction was to be that loud person, was to be that person that was just like, you know, like, why are you taking such like an aggressive stance on things? But I think I think that's the issue a lot of people have. And it's going to take that person looking in the mirror in tapping into that to ask himself, why do I behave? Why did I behave that way? Why do I need to make everybody else feel uncomfortable? Because I'm uncomfortable. And you're never going to be happy. You're never going to have functional, healthy relationships if you never pinpoint that, if you never self-consult what the root of that problem is.
Right. I think, as I was hearing you speak, like there's a degree of accountability that I think that, everyone needs to have in a situation. When I think of accountability, I think of like, right, like if you work with somebody who is the what else do I have to do type of person, who walks into a situation is always looking for someone else to tell them what they have to do, right? Like these are people who are not activators, right? Like they're not self-starters. They cannot look at a problem or a situation and figure out what is it that they're doing in order to help that situation. They have to wait for you to tell them, right? These are people, and maybe you haven't found what it is that you're passionate about and you're only going into work every day with 20%, right? But like, these are people that do not currently have the opportunity or the availability to look like at themselves and say to themselves, kind of, what is my accountability in this situation, right? Like, what are the things that I'm doing that's helping me or not helping me amount to where I'm at right now, right? Because like, if you're an employee like that, but you still expect to one day get promoted or move up, it's ridiculous. Like it's a ridiculous assertion that you should be, because you're wanting for other people around you to tell you what to do, when to do that. And you want other people around you to manage your life. And there's so many people that I see, and often these exact type of people, like these exact type of employees or human beings, are the ones that complain about, I did this, I did that, I did X, Y, Z. And the difference is, and guys, when you're thinking about your contributions, think about like how much of a self-starter that you are in your contributions versus how much someone told you to do something and then you did it and it was a good job. The difference is how much do you do, like how many situations do you walk into and you ask questions or provide challenges versus how many situations do you walk into and you provide solutions and you provide answers and you provide action. That's the difference. Those are the difference between the people that get promoted. Those are the differences between the people that reach like this far degree of success, because they can self-start, they can activate within that. And it's because they have a degree of accountability to understand that they're not bringing problems or challenges to a situation, but they're bringing answers and solutions.
Right. But I think also when you are in a leadership role, or you feel like you got the upper hand, or you have the greater responsibility, the greater strength, whatever, you have to understand that you can learn from anybody. And if you really sincerely believe that you are all powerful and all knowing at all times, then you're the fool. You're the fool in the situation. Then you will never be able to see anything beyond the tip of your own nose. You will never be able to expand. You'll never be able to learn. And you won't really be able to benefit from any of your associations, any of your relationships or interactions, if you really feel like you are the ultimate. You know what I mean? Like, you have to also know when to humble yourself and listen. Even if you completely disagree with somebody else, maybe you have an opportunity to teach them, because you just go ahead and let them finish talking, then they would be more receptive to the ideas that you have. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Listen, I'm seeing paragraphs down into the chat. You need a refill? You want the wine?
Yeah, what we got? What we got down here? I'm gonna go for the wine. Go for the wine.
Listen. Whoa. Oh shit. It's like a shotgun. Guys, listen, we're gonna do another 20 minutes. And then we'll get a smooth 2.5 hours, and then we'll get out of here. JT Cabot says, why would you as a man give a blank what she thinks? You are a higher position and shouldn't care. As a leader, you make the best decision, and she is to follow or get gone.
Would you want to work for somebody who has that mentality? Would you?
It's a good question.
I wouldn't. I don't think you're going to get very much cooperation if that's sincerely what your MO is.
Here's the thing, and the chat's about to blow the fuck up.
I know it is.
And JT, let's talk. Let's have a, because I think just like you think. And let me tell you guys a quick short story. I was actually going to do a video on this, but we can get in there. I have a coworker that I met who is married. He's been married for almost 20 years and said to me being married for 20 years makes me a better manager. And I said, shut up. After I said, shut up, I said, well, what do you mean? He said, I know how to deal with people way better now than I did back before I was married, right? Back when I was single and I only knew and understood my own emotions or how I thought about something or how I think that situation should be handled based off of the data. Like we talk about the data a lot on this channel, based off of the numbers or the facts or the statistics and this, that, and the third. He says now in having to consider other people as well as his kids in it, he has a bigger understanding of how feelings play into how people act. And I say often on this channel, like you cannot be a fantastic leader without a degree of empathy and understanding of feelings to go forward. But what I find in this red pill community that, you might associate yourself with, a lot of that is relentless when it comes to considering how different people feel in a particular situation. So you could think, I am the manager, but what she thinks, I am higher position. I make the best decision and she has to follow forth. And there's a lot of cultures, corporate, not corporate, blue collar, that believe in that. But human beings are human beings. And the thing is, like, if you think of like a basketball team, like a Jordan, for example, a Jordan would appeal to the empathy and the emotional capability of his teammates in order to inspire. There's nothing on commanding what's right that has to do with inspiring. That's not how you inspire people. And trust me, guys, as I'm articulating this, I am learning how to do this, because even today in my 9-to-5, I deal with this. I am in this position. You should understand the expectations and move forward. And when you slip off the expectations, here's the punishment. This is the way that I move. It makes sense to me because I operate in that. But there's a lot of people that you have to work with that do not operate in that. Do not operate in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think sometimes people also, if you've never truly been in charge, you don't really understand what it takes to be a leader. If you've never actually been in a leadership role where you have to be a manager or you have to be, the leader of some kind of squadron or the leader of a team, you have to consider the team when you make the decisions. You have to consider how the soldiers are going to be receptive to your message. Because if you're just going to be a dictator about it, if you're just going to be a dick about it, then you have no team. Then you're just, you're there just stomping around and puffing out your chest, and you're just standing there all alone. You'll end up looking like being very foolish, and you'll be alone and feel like, oh yeah, I was right. That's why they left me. that's why I'm standing here alone. I was right. I was so right that they can't deal with it. That's another point where you might want to turn around and reflect on yourself. If you can't value the opinion of another person because they have a vagina, I just feel like that's the most ignorant thing that you could possibly do. I mean, I don't know. Like, does your mother love you? That's kind of what it comes back. I always, when it comes to like dating men, I found like a lot of times when guys have like superiority complexes, it's probably because their mom suppressed them too much, and their mother didn't give them the opportunity to grow into a man, and so they had to kind of like they kind of always have to try to make dominance of, you know what I'm saying?
Here's what I think. I think a lot of dudes experience bullshit with women. Mm-hmm. And then they get into a red pill rage, and then that's where it mostly comes from my experience.
I get that too. Yeah, absolutely. Like, in it's like you probably are like a really nice guy who had like a shitty girl like shit on him, you know, and or maybe that's happened a few times, and it's like, well, now I can't be myself because I've been with these fucked up people. I had to. It took me a lot of time by myself, spending a lot of time alone, not dating anybody, to really get over that shit. Like, it's gonna take time, because if you don't take a moment to yourself to kind of like rebuild yourself, you're just going to blame the next person for what the last person did, and you're going to find everything in them. You're going to find every single flaw to justify all of the negative things, because for some reason, you know, human nature is like we have a tendency to self-sabotage. Excuse me, to self-sabotage when you don't want to fall back into a similar vulnerable position.
Shout out to El Americano Mas Colombiano. Salud, my G. And he says, I'm in leadership, and that's not the move. I manage females. Yeah. It won't work. So that's the thing. And this is why I tell you guys, right? There's a lot of content that's available on YouTube that doesn't have these types of discussions. And in fact, they shun these types of discussions. I don't know why. I mean, it is what it is. And they will tell you things that work in the microcosm of their channel and the women that they might be dealing with. I think that there's universal truths within that. Let's not get it twisted. I think that there's ways that you can make a woman's mind conform to making you appear more attractive in their mind. Absolutely. I think that is a goddamn truth. But when you're dealing with like what Mas Colombiano was talking about, this idea of making people just fall in line because of your command, especially now when people can get on social media and complain about you, it will not work. And I think this right here is often why you see so many people at the top ranks of corporate America that are married. I think that there's a degree within that of, and we could talk about this as well. Like I feel like there's a degree within that which tames this masculine energy to conform and considering this degree of empathy that works well for leading people or organizations in a democracy that has social media at its fingertips. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Shout out to the chat. The chat is going the goddamn. Yeah. And Blue Pill Sam says, JT, he's so blind. Higher position. A, do you even listen to yourself? Ant Banks says, you can argue Sam's point. Not worry about the loss of time. Resources could be viewed as abundance. Shout out to LV. JT Cavett, you watch too many red pill channels and taking everything word for word. Some chicks are down 50-50. Not many, but everything isn't so black and so white.
True.
You know, I think that there's things that you can do to raise attraction, and there's things that you can do to raise your market value as a man, for sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. There's things that you can absolutely do. I think that when you're working with people on teams, you know, just like there's some there's some dudes that might need an empathetic stance, right? Like there's some blue pill dudes that are well within their emotions that in a corporate environment might need you to sit there and talk about their kids just to make sure that they know that you ride for them, because you'll sit as they're talking about their children, right? Like they might need that. Mm-hmm. And it's just not like and I'm talking about this a lot, and because I hate doing this. I hate because in my mind I'm like, I got work to do, you bastard. I got shit to do. But I'm spending time and doing this and being empathetic with you because it makes you feel, it makes you ride for me.
I think that there was I don't remember where it was, the article or something I was reading, but it was talking about leading from behind. And I think if you sincerely want someone to value your opinion, to follow your instructions or your intent, or to adopt your ideas, you might want to consider that as a method of leading from behind. So there's a way that you can get someone to come to your side of thinking without being so like direct and blunt about it. Like squash, kill your idea, fuck what you got to say, we're gonna do this. And even if that's exactly what needs to be done, there's still a better way to go about it than to be like, punching bitches in their face and dragging them by their hair.
Quee says, I wholeheartedly agree, fam. When you care less about them, they respect you more. He's talking about women. If you don't show any assertiveness or dominance, you can't command respect. Unlike Blue Pill Sam. Yeah, there's a degree here, and this is what I'm talking about. I think that there's universal truths. I think that there's something psychological too. Like, let's say that we were in a dating relationship and I began to overwhelm you with, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Come over. Let's hang out tonight and again tomorrow night. And then after that, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. There's a degree of that you would experience that you'd be like, irrespective of what you might feel like I am, you'd be like, he's a bitch. And that just happens over time. It happens with dudes as well. Like the chick that's tagging you like that, you're like, I'll call her back. She's going to hit me up again
she's gonna be there.
Later tonight. She'll be there, right? She's my last, my last choice at the end of the night. If I'm getting through, if the club is closing at 2:00 and it's like 1:45, I'm like, all right, let me see what she's doing. Now I'm ready, because all my options in the club or what I thought I was going to get tonight is dried up. So let me see what this orbiter is going to do.
Bet. Don't be a safe bet.
It's about commanding respect. I mean, that is what it is. Like the ones that you feel like are not going to be there available for you, those are the ones that you respect more. You respect their time more. You respect their distance more. You respect their energy more. The ones that are just like, yeah.
You got to match somebody's energy. I think that's what it is. Like, because some people, like, they get into that clingy shit. And if it's a mutual clingy thing, then they're happy like that, Or you can get on your social distancing. I didn't call.
Appreciate you, Get Swifty. Salute to the chat. Listen, we're going to be here for another 7 minutes.
Swifty. Whatever. Do I look like I got the bug? No.
There's no look, baby girl.
I know. But I haven't been coughing or nothing.
Actually, there's no goddamn symptoms until 5 days after you caught it. Shout out to Lawrence, guys. See you, my G.
That's really scary, though.
Scary as shit. Same thing with the flu, though. You could be contagious with the flu before you show a symptom.
That's why I said the Nigella sativa, get the black seed oil, get your garlic,
CBD.
Get your, I guess CBD, I don't know. Get your turmeric, your cayenne pepper. Like, just have a daily morning cleanse and a cleanse before you go to sleep. Because a lot of times the germs and the infections develop while you're sleeping. Also, flossing. I think people like over flossing. Seriously, Floss.
Oh, I agree. I was looking at the comments.
Floss before you go to sleep, because it's like, first of all, that's part of the reason why some of y'all wake up with stank ass breath, because you still got food in your teeth.
Shout out to Blue Pill Sam. He's going to goddamn in real quick. She's turning to the Blue Pill side. She likes the nice guy. Here's the thing, Sam. Here's the difference.
You don't know what
I think. I don't know if he's talking about you or talking about another lady down in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Just real quick. Here's the thing. Here's my assertion. Blue Pill Sam is they like verbally the things that you say, but action wise, they don't. As much as someone that shows key components of masculinity. Key components. I think they Oh, he says he's talking about you. I think I hear what you're saying, bro. But here's the thing, is that you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. So number one, protect yourself. And that could be financially, right? Don't take them out to Roof Chris on the first date. Take them out to some place where you get in to know them. You get to understand how much that they may or may not respect you. Okay. At the same time, okay, make her respect you. If she respects you, she'll like you more. If she don't feel like you're orbiting her, she'll like you more. Okay. Just because you can say nice things to her and she responds positively on that, don't mean it's going to keep her. That's from my experience. Okay. Salud. I just saw some super chats come to goddamn in. I'm over here talking about women as if you're not a woman over here.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so feel free to tell me I'm wrong.
Well, here's my thing though. You're not entirely wrong. Because a woman doesn't want you to be like a pushover. A woman doesn't want you to be like calling her all the time, texting her all the time, because absolutely you'll be like, okay, he's a little too clingy. I don't want that. But then on the flip side, a woman who doesn't like the clingy guy will end up being that clingy person to someone else. Right. So it's a balance though. But I think you have to maintain that sexual tension. It's got to be a little bit of both. There has to be some romance, but there also got to be some, ass smacking up in there somewhere, it's just like, keep it real. Just saying, like, that would be a great date. If it was romantic, but then there was an ass smack in there somewhere, then that'd be great. It's like, you just got to figure it out. So it's all individual. It all depends on the individual person, and if that works with you, whatever your vibe is. So I just say, like, be yourself, keep it moving.
Do you appreciate it? So here's the thing, there's a lot of dudes that just heard you say that and said hashtag Me Too movement is a real movement, right? Like, so like there's a degree in there where you don't want to just give an ass smack because she might call the authorities on you.
You have to build up to it. You don't just jump up in there and be like, hey, we just met off of Match.com. No, you don't just, you have to build the tension. It's a give and take. It is a balance. It's like there you give some and you don't. It's like, it's a balance. I don't know how else to explain it. You can't be too much or too little of either or, of blue pill or red pill. It takes a little bit of both. I mean, it depends on what your end game is. Like, yeah, like some women who are cool with just, getting it in and keeping it moving. Like, you can be more of an asshole, I guess. And she's okay with that because she's not really invested in you either. But I think what it really comes down to is just being honest. Be honest with people so they can be in a situation with you if that's what they want. There's a woman out there for every man. There's a man out there for every woman. And also all those other variations in between. Seriously. Y'all know. I know. I'm not saying it's anybody here, but just saying. Teach his own. Teach one.
Shout out! Wait, hold on. I forgot I got a soundboard in this bitch.
You what? You had that the whole time?
americano más colombiano. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Leadership is about vision and responsibility, not power. Facts. I think there's a lot of people who will sell you power and things to be masculine, but this is no longer a workforce that is 97% men. They're in there too. So let me keep it clear. Here's the benefit of the channel is that you get it from both perspectives. I think the channels that only do it from one perspective, in essence, are doing a disservice. Are doing a disservice to the knowledge that can be spread. They only give you your microcosm of truth. And yeah, it can be true. It can be true. But not knowing how to put that information in front of them in a way to lead, in order to structure, right? To inspire, to this, to that, to solve, to solution, I think is where a lot of them fall short at. And a lot of them also focus in on complaining. They don't focus on solutions. We're about solutions over here. Yeah. Salud.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sean Bills. Can't leave without hearing from the team. You a dictator. Salud, Sean. Yeah. You right, bro. Okay, now listen. I know you were. Which one?
You know, somebody asked me what my name was. What's your name, girlfriend? What's your name?
They keep calling you Shorty.
FDZ. It's just 3 letters.
You want to type it back
yeah, I was about to type it back in the thing.
Go ahead, girl.
Oh, wait. Back it up.
I thought you were gonna put your website.
I did put the website. That's my name.
Yeah, but the website is way up in the live chat, so you might want to put it again so people can click on it.
I got you.
Come on, girl.
Yeah. Check me out. FDZ.com. FDZ Graffiti. That's what I do. Did it pop up on this one? There it is.
Yeah, it's right there. All right, this has a little bit of lag into it.
Between sexual dynamics and professional.
We need to differentiate between sexual dynamics and professional dynamics, workplace and bedroom. Facts. This is what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Women want dominance in the bedroom. I don't know about that. I don't really have a lot of experience there. I think most want to be dominated. I'll be honest. But respect in the workplace. Y'all confused.
Wait, you don't think that women want to be dominated in the bed?
Oh, yeah. Yes. No, when I read that, I read women want to dominate in the bedroom. Maybe I read it incorrectly.
Well, I think when he's saying women want dominance in the bedroom.
From a man.
Yeah.
But you can also interpret that as women want dominance.
She wants dominance. She wants to dominate.
Yeah.
To say that she wants to receive
I'm saying
dominance.
I don't know that. I know women who look for dominance in a bedroom.
Yeah.
Or talk to me.
No, I think that's absolutely true. Absolutely. I mean, but then again, depending on her personality, there are women out there who are, dominatrix, That's like their thing, I guess. You said women out there are dominatrix? Yes, there are women that want to be like dominant in bed. Do you think is that the outlier or is that the norm? I think it is rare, but that's also because I don't partake in that. I can't. I don't know. I don't know what people are into. I don't know what y'all do out there. Shoot, there's everything. I'm like, no, you see that? There's a little bit of everything. What's it say? If you can read this one out loud, please. I respect your views, FDZ. Meet for drinks, your treat. Hey, I buy drinks sometimes too. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you why. Sometimes I fit the bill because I don't want it to get twisted.
That's the thing where you talk about like expectations and stuff. If a girl throws it out there every once in a while that she's gonna pay or I'm willing to pay, it's like I don't want you to think that I'm trying to take advantage of you, and I also want you to understand that you just ain't gonna just purchase the cooch like that, like just because you throw money out there. Like we could just keep it cool. We could just keep it cordial and just keep it like, you know, not necessarily money for sex.
Do you think that it's come down that like our dating culture today?
I think it is. I think unfortunately, I think that.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, like you got all of these desperate housewives of whatever and everything like that. Like people aspire to, I think a lot of women aspire to be taken care of by some guy who has a lot of money. Or, I mean, like who wouldn't want someone who's going to be like, oh, I'll take care of everything. I'm going to pay for everything. I'm going to take, get your nails done, this and that. But the reality of the situation is that man who has that much control and status in the situation, if he wants to step out and be with another woman, what value did you bring to the table? Like, what did you help create that wealth? You're just, you know what I'm saying? Like you're just spending the money. So I feel like that's where a lot of shit happens, like.
So you think that women should, well, here's the conundrum for women is there's a school of thought of, be your most feminine, be your most attractive, feed into the beauty industry to, makeup and hair color and this and that, hairstyle, right? Like all these things that make women as beautiful as what they are and make men want them. There's a degree there, but then there's also like when I hear you talk, I also hear components of, but bring something else to the table, right? Like don't just be looks good in vagina.
Yeah.
Right. Like have a mind, have thoughts, have recommendations, have summaries, right. have components of that. Am I summarizing that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think what we forget to do as we're socializing, no matter what the circumstance is, whether it's dating, whether you're friends, whether you just don't know yet, is that you forget to like be a friend to somebody. Like you shouldn't go into every single opposite sex relationship with the intent of trying to make it a one night stand first. I just feel like that, like you're devaluing the potential that you can have as business partners, or the potential that you can have as anything. If you automatically go into it like I'm just trying to hit it and quit it. What was it? Buns and run. If you're just trying to buns and run, I mean, like, yeah, there are people out there where like, yeah, you should just hit it and quit it. But if you never even took the time to get to know if that person is like, could potentially be an asset in your life, like if you never actually listened to them, then that's your loss. Like you could be a major loss because you were just thinking with your dick. And I just feel like you should be a little more deep than that. Not saying that every single person you should come into contact with, you should be trying to consider, oh, is this person going to be my future wife or whatever. I'm just saying, like, have some respect in any given circumstance. And I'm talking about that from a woman's perspective as well. I'm not just going to go out with a guy and just try to use him and take advantage of his chivalry and like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we can go out to eat 4 times this week, but in my mind, I have absolutely no intention of falling into your intentions.
Let me ask you a question, and we'll try to wrap it up. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about it earlier, buns and guns, mm-hmm. right? Like this exchange, right? Like where we can make each other whole, mm-hmm. right? Because we know what women value, we know what men value. Right. And the guns and buns, like, I mean, that sums it up very well. What's the problem in today's society? What do you think are the components that are leading us where we can't have this honest attribution of what makes me happy and what makes you happy, and have a meeting of the minds. Like, what do you think those components of society are? I'm gonna sum it up.
It's not them, it's you. It's not their fault. It's your fault. It is your own fault. If you, in any situation where you're like, oh, this person did me wrong, or I feel slighted or whatever, it's your fault. It's your fault. Well, it is.
Can I interject? Because you say that it's your fault, but I think that there's a large component of people that don't understand how culture, media, and what have you is attributing to the way that they think of things. So they may not know that it's their fault, right? Mm-hmm. For example, if I have a song that I hear when I'm a child that tells me that as a woman, I should be independent, I'm going to think I should be abundantly independent, create on my own, do my own thing, not need a man, not respect that a man is different physically than me, that he's stronger, that he gets sent off to war, that he can pull me up from a cliff if I'm hanging down, right? Like, they're not taught, right? Like, and within that, I think that there's a distancing of sexes. Like, I feel like there's an idea that, well, I'm strong and I'm independent. And I feel like a lot of that within feminism is fed to women in a way that I feel like in the short term can make people feel like, hurrah, yeah, I could stand up and do my own thing. But in the long term, it leads to a lot of detrimental effects that go against our biology.
Well, if we were living in a society where a woman could just be a lady, it could be a virtuous virgin, and then she's valued, and then she's married to a man who will be with her, but always.
But we do, because men respect that. Like men put yay on high, knowing that there's not a lot of other entrances that have felt the viscosity. So if a woman was a virgin, then she would be. Well, like it's like economics, right? So like if you look on a demand curve of like market value, the more that's one thing that men consider. It's not something that women consider, because I feel like with women, you don't care if I've had 50 bodies or 500, as long as I can, the attributes within the guns part of the equation that you, right? Like has a degree of confidence, has financial literacy and education. Like you look to that dude and you're like, yes, he can provide security, and I feel comfortable within his grasp to be able to provide buns, or be able to provide kids, or be able to provide nurturing, or be able to provide healing. But like, there's not like a black women don't care of a man's body count, but men care of a woman's body count. That's why, like, you can't call a man a slut and he feels offended, but you can call a woman a slut and she feels offended. Now, there's a little bit of cart before the horse. There's a little bit of, is slut defined as offensive because of the culture, or is it defined as offensive because of the biology? There was a lot of questions I just wrapped in there, but I wanted to get.
It was majorly loaded. So ultimately, you're asking me like, what is the disconnect there because of all of that? I honestly, truly believe that people just don't want to be in like long-term relationships anymore. I think that's ultimately what it is. And the more that is obvious, that's why we don't know how to behave around each other. That's why we don't. It's like, well, my nature is to be like this, but I can't be natural in this unnatural society that we've created. And I think that's where we have all these awkward moments, and you have people who are just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get what I can get out of it. I'm gonna get what I want out of it, despite you. And that's men and women. And I mean, even in the chat, you see people saying that in the chat where they're saying like, hey, you know, smash and dash, or hit it and quit it, or, you know, nice guys finish last, or whatever. It's like, ultimately, that's what it is. It's like people are just like, well, I'm going to get everything I can get out of this so I can leave with my hands full and, you know, get on with my life, on to the next one. It's unfortunate, but I think that that's the fact. I think that's the truth of the situation. Like, we just don't value each other like we should.
You know, I think that you bring up fantastic points. I think that the value of each other is different across geographies. It's different across racial backgrounds. It's different across socioeconomic backgrounds. I think that it's a wide variety and spectrum dependent upon who you are, where you're from, the culture that you believe in, the geography that you grew up in. It's very uniquely different. But I think that the one thing that holds us true across all of that is not the nurture, but is the nature. And there's things within our biology, in my opinion, we can talk about it, that I think can hold relative true. And I think like a degree of the knowledge that gets exposed with red pill content is more from a biological, here's the things that help unlock this puzzle between men and women. And I think the attribution that it is, we're not respecting each other anymore. We're not, right? Like, there's components within that knowledge that is teaching men how to become respected, right? Right. Like, so like when we hear like Blue Pill Sam in there saying hey, he's buying, you know, Ruth Chris for women that he doesn't know, like I like, and when he said that next to me, and we were having a conversation, my thought in my mind was, but she doesn't even know to respect you yet. She might come eventually to respect you. It's not that she's saying that because you do Ruth Chris, she's not going to respect you. But you don't even know yet if there's a layer of respect, if there's a layer of admiration, if there's a layer of what have you.
I mean, but also that might be his way of kind of like weeding out the rats, for real. Like, if you take a lady, if you can afford to like take a lady out to a nice classy place and she behaves ratchet, then you know how to treat her. I'm sorry. Apologies to the ladies out there, but
there's no ratchet ladies. I talk so much shit on ratchet ladies on this channel. They're not subbing to me.
I'm sorry. Like, you know,
not.
but it's like,
I want them to. I want them to grow up
Could
by
you
looking
imagine?
at. Oh my
There'd
God.
be all kinds of bombs going off up in here.
I try to go and react to more ratchet content creators in order to hopefully that her subscribers would see my content and then come over to my channel and hear what I have to say, so they can see their ratchetness in a new light. But like, you know, people just, this is human nature. People just self-select into content that makes themselves feel good about themselves.
Yeah, true.
That's why I tell all of my subscribers, like, get outside of my channel. I know there's a lot of other channels out there that do different type of content, whether or not it's men versus women or Democrat versus Republican. Look at a lot of different variety of sources in order to ascertain information and do it with an open mind. Shout out to Blue Pill Sam. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Shout out to Marcus. He's red pill, but not an idiot. Salud. Thank you so much, Blue Pill Sam. Appreciate you, bro. Yes, weed out rats. Thank you, ma'am. You want to talk about it?
I mean,
while I go let my bladder go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about weeding out the rats. Okay. Unfortunately, like what I believe
a lot of the issues that we have within our dating community or just socializing male to female is that you go back to the 90s, think about like the music, like I don't want no scrubs, pay my bills and all that jazz. Like that was like the notion. It was like that was the thing to do that made you like a powerful woman for some reason. It's like if you could just kind of like ransack through a dude's wallet, then you were doing your thing. But like for real, if you're doing your own thing, you don't need to be in anybody else's wallet, right? But when you in like a ratchet mindset, you know, the way that these women are raising their daughters is sad. Like the other day, I was just walking up the street and this woman is cussing out her toddler. She's cussing her out like she's a grown ass woman. Even if it was a grown ass woman, it would have been extremely difficult. I mean, disrespectful. And she's like snatching her up and saying, like, bitch, you get on my nerves and this and that. I'm just like, is she talking to an infant right now? Could you imagine that if that woman like treats her daughter like that in public, like the lifestyle that she has at home? Like imagine the worst of that. And so these people are growing up and they are totally fucked up and broken. And so their whole mode is to go and get it. Their whole mode is to go out there and take advantage. So, I mean, I feel like, unfortunately, that has tainted a lot of men. And there are a lot of women who have felt like they've had to abide to that nature as well. So I'm just like, talking about how ratchetness is like a cancer in our dating community. And I think it started back in like the 90s and the 80s with a lot of the music and a lot of the images and a lot of the what was female empowerment. But I think that it took like a real negative turn when it was talking about how you should just be like utilizing, what's that?
Utilizing what? Oh, your vagina. I was just talking
about like, utilizing your vagina to use men. Yeah.
Listen, when they start talking about the licking and sticking and tripping and everything that, you know, it's like it kind of like, oh, okay. I hear you guys. But at the same time, like, you know, the more that you utilize your viscosity, the more that people will call you the S word. Okay. But a man, in my eyes, cannot be one. Man cannot be a slut. What do you think about that?
I mean, men can be fuckboys.
Yes. Yeah. So, but within that, being a fuckboy, because here's the thing. I think slut is a term that gets used in order to marginalize people, whether it's true or whether it's not, that they are promiscuous or they have a lot of bodies or too much. The thing is that outside of your own mental health, I don't know if men can have too much because of anatomy. I think I have an outie, you have an innie. There's two different things that's happening there. You can give birth, I cannot. It's two different things happening there. So I think that the eye or the focus gets placed on women more because of how much more it might mean to them. Like, I feel like men can have a lot more frequent, meaningless activities as opposed to women might have more meaningful.
But what comes of that, though? Like when you live, it's kind of like, okay, you remember like in middle school or high school where everybody ended up dating everybody else anyway, or it'd be like the same group of friends and they would just kind of like switch out boyfriends and girlfriends. Like they're all friends, but they ended up dating each other's exes and stuff. Like, do you ever recall, did anything like that happen at your school?
Yeah, like that happens because of proximity.
Right. That's exactly what, so that's the point that I'm getting to. So it's like when men have this, okay, well, I can be with as many women as, you know, I can't be a slut. Well, in proximity, what happens is if guys aren't settling down and they're just going around fucking around, you know, people are pulling up bodies as well. Let's not act like dudes are being straight up about it, saying like, hey, I just want to have sex with you tonight, or I just want to have sex with you a couple times. you know, like guys, you put on the game, it all starts off nice, and it's all, you know, fun and games until the truth really comes out. So then there ends up being a lot of like wasted time where, and I've had personal experiences like this. I go into a situation with the intent of like building something, not just trying to have like, you know, buns and run. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that becomes like a scar in your social experience when you were applying yourself to be a virtuous woman in this man's life, but he didn't want that because he was being a slut. He wants a slut.
So so the example that you were given of high school and things like that happening. So what I'm not saying is that men should do that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that it has different mental impacts. It impacts men and women different ways when you accumulate bodies. It affects us differently. I think because women are a little bit more emotional in nature, they value sexual intimacy a lot bit more than what a lot of men. There's a lot of dudes out there that can smash and dash and not think about it ever again. I think our genetics are a little bit different, so that one can allow for smashing and dashing, and the other one, it's smashing and may get pregnant, right? So like there's a different level of importance, right, on one as opposed to the other. Like, and I think our government has put checks and balances in place to even that out.
So
I want to say
can
that.
I chime in on that?
But when we were hunter and gatherers, before birth control, birth control, and before paternity test, you really didn't know. You really didn't know. Dolphins, for example, the female dolphins have sex with as many men as possible so that the men don't know if it's their child, because within dolphin species or race, the men will eat the babies. So because the man doesn't know, okay, I had sex with her, so this might be my child, the woman has sex with as many as possible in order to protect the offspring. I'm not saying women do that. Human women do not do that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying things are put into place for a wide variety of reasons. It could be attributed to wide variety of reasons that I think it's important to consider all of the reasons as to why it happens. Because I think it's a part of the damages is equating, in my opinion, that women and men are equal when it comes to sexuality. How do you feel about that?
What I was going to say was, and I'll touch on that.
Okay.
At what point, because I saw someone in here and they said, well, if you tell a woman straight up that you just want to have sex with her, then she's going to be offended. A woman who doesn't want to just have sex with you is going to be offended.
Facts.
A woman who does want to just have sex with you, she'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
But she might not be as appealing as a woman who actually may resemble like somebody that you actually want to be with. A quality woman. You want to be with someone who is attractive, who has something to say or whatever. Like you would rather, I would imagine you'd rather be with somebody who has a head on their shoulders and not just vagina in their pants. But the fact of the matter is, to just bring it back to that, you don't want to tell a woman, I just want to have sex with you, because she's going to be offended. That's because she's not the type of woman who just wants to have sex with you. That girl who might be okay with just like smash and dash, she's probably not going to be the same caliber of a woman who wants more. But at what point do men take responsibility of like not lying to women about what your intentions are, so that you aren't going around just being another body? Because it's like you're ruining women by being pacifists in their lives. When, and this is I can speak from my own experience. I am not a smash and dash kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather, even if it's not, even if I'm not in a committed relationship with somebody, it's still a sexual relationship because I will have sex with this one person, even if I'm dating, but I have an open relationship or open enough conversation with this person that if I decide to stop having sex with them because I want a more serious relationship, I can do that. I can do that without any kind of manipulation or any lies because you have to keep it real.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is if you are the type of man or woman that's like, oh, I have to say these things in this way so that it's more appealing. Because if I told people what my true intentions were, then they wouldn't want to be with me. Well, you're just being lazy. You're being lazy because it might take you searching a little more to find somebody who's actually who's okay with that. Why drag somebody into a situation where they don't want to be a pacifistic sexual another body in your life? Like that's such a violation. I think that violation happens so much and so often. That sincerely is the root to the problem. That's really what the root to the problem is people wasting your fucking time. It's like, I didn't want to waste my time on this pacifistic fuckery, but because you wanted to put on the sheep's wool, then
we got to touch on this because this is a very important point that I think produces a lot of ire between men and women. But I see Uncle Phineas. Shout out to Uncle Phineas in the building. I gotta address. Hold that point real quick because I want to address it.
Okay.
And I can see you heating up over there.
I'm a timeout.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
Just real quick, no shitting.
No shit.
Zone. No shit. Zone.
I
know better. We don't got the toilet paper for it. Okay. We ain't got the toilet paper for it. Salute to everyone that's down in the chat right now. Uncle Phineas, I see you up here. Salute for the $10 super chat. Come on. Come on. Red pill content should be used as a form of information, not tools for a lifestyle choice. You still need experience to back it up. People you also use it as an excuse not to execute positive change. Uncle Phineas, wholeheartedly agree with you, my G. Wholeheartedly agree with you. I think that, again, as I was saying earlier, people can take the information and it makes a lot of sense in your own microcosm, in your own world. What I've been trying to discover and figure out even within myself is how do I make this work amongst people in, around, and even outside of what I'm used to, right? Hence, a lot of the benefit of the channel, in my opinion, is how do we have these very real discussions? I get a lot of dudes that come onto the channel and just like, hey, yo, tell that bitch to shut up. Da, 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 da. How does that inspire anybody? How does that inspire? How does that move? How does that change? Besides you complaining about your current situation or you projecting your hate onto somebody else that may look like something that happened to you, right? And I can't harbor hate for people like that because in general, I love life, 99.9% of the time, even during pandemics. I mean, it is what it is. People use it also as an excuse not to execute positive change. Yeah, I think people can use it as an excuse to sit within their challenge and complain about their challenge. And I don't bang with that. I bang with solutions because only but so long that I can sit within my own state of complaining before moving on. I just can't do it. There's not a bone in my body that wants to sit and dwell on a past and complain. And to think that there's systems put in place to dictate how I ended up here, right? Because a lot of times I ended up here because I made decisions to end up there. Salute, Uncle Phineas. Oh, she's back. Oh, shit, we got a whole bunch of other super chats. Let me go down and say what's up real quick. Yeah, wrap that scarf around you, okay? I don't want the goddamn, what do they call it? The Rona. I don't want the Rona.
I don't want it either.
Shout out Uncle Phineas one more time. One more again. Pew, pew, pew. Go ahead. Did you just pew? I just pew. Did you just pew? Shout out Uncle Phineas. People who do ratchet shit will pay the ratchet price. Facts. True. Somehow they did not tell these women the price of coolness of being ratchet. Yeah, you know, there's short-term benefits and coolness to that ratchet shit. You know what I'm saying? That gets proclaimed. There's no long-term benefit of it.
I think that comes from getting grown.
Maturity.
That's from experience.
We should react to the video that I did. I would love to hear maybe we'll do that like in a few. Let me just acknowledge. And I also want you to touch back on that point because I felt like you was heating up and I want to capture that, put it into a little ball and turn it into a conversation. Okay. So ultimately what I'm saying is check yourself. Because if you're out here talking about like, oh, you know, body counts, just in the realm of body counts, okay? Really what the issue is it stems from ourselves and it's the way that we treat each other. So if you have been a waste of time in somebody's life, in a lady's life or a man's life, then you are going around ruining people. You're ruining good people. Here's the thing. Not everybody who is undecided on where they want to place you in your life is ruining. Sometimes they are unsure what they want for themselves, their life, in their pursuit of happiness. Excuse me. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm not referring to. You're referring to liars. I'm not referring. Yes, I'm referring to liars. I'm talking about people who straight up lie about their intention. Like the person that said, "Well, I can't." I mean, there was someone. Maybe not specific to you, but okay. There was someone who mentioned in the chat, like, "Well, I can't tell a woman I just want to have sex with her because she's going to be offended." That's not a lie. No. But that okay. No. Talk about it is though, because he said, "I can't say that to you because then you won't have sex with me." That's not the person that you should be having sex with. I think I hear what you're saying. Here's what I thought you were going to say. Okay. A motherfucker that's like, I love you, girl. And I know people that have done this throughout my life. I love you, girl. And then they go and they fuck another chick in the same night. And it's not to say that sex equals love, but it's to say that he doesn't love you. He's just saying that to get something from you. That's what I thought you were going to say. Nah, based on what you just said. Can we get the example one more time again? I can't say I just want to have sex with you. Okay. Because you're going to be offended. Here's the thing. You have to be very mindful about the Me Too shit. That's the thing is that like, listen, as you said earlier, you don't have to tell me to be mindful about the Me Too shit. Wait, but let me try to explain it. Danger. But let me try to explain it as well. All right. It's only weird if she's not attracted to you. But how do men know? Like, how do men know that if I say this, it's gonna be taken with a like laugh and you know, like that flirting laugh back. Well, like that's the thing. Or will it be taken at you have to be yourself. No, you do have to be yourself. But what if his self is creepy? Because he's not as attractive, but he's still shooting shots. Meanwhile, if the same dude who's very attractive will say the exact same things that he's saying, it's okay. This is the confusion with the Me Too. Okay. Now, Harvey Weinstein and all that shit, that's another level. I don't think that that's the whole Me Too thing. I don't think like, oh, I think that guy's creepy versus like somebody who's actually being like violated, sexually harassed.
raped like that. I think the Me Too thing was actually about people who were victimized.
That's how it started.
Taking that back to like a social interaction like that. I think that's where men and women or whoever has taken it too far. The Me Too movement was it's about people who have actually been victimized, not about somebody who just had an awkward social situation.
But victimized is defined by the victim.
Well, I'm talking about like an actual crime that was committed.
But
just being offended, like, oh, okay, I'm offended, walk away. Okay. Now, if that person grabs you, then that's a Me Too situation.
I'm with you, and I agree with you. But you got to think to the cases that have been demonstrated where the victim defines the victimization. And it's not just that and I agree with you. I think it was started for a very necessary reason. Mm-hmm. I think where it ended up getting into is an example like Aziz Ansari, who is a popular comic that went on a date with a woman, and she wrote like a memoir of the Me Too in response to what he did in the name of Me Too. And at that point, everyone was just like reading the memoir like, crazy lady, it was a bad date. It was a bad date. And here's the thing is that although you say just be yourself, men are, because of this idea of patriarchy in America, because we are bigger, because we can, right, we're bigger, we're stronger, we can physically take you like places, we have far less margin of error. Because something that can come across to us as just flirting can be pinpointed as Me Too, can be pinpointed as time's up.
I understand what you're saying, because it's like a guy that I'm not attracted to could say something
and you're like,
and I'm like, oh my God. And a guy that I'm attracted to could say the exact same thing and I'm receptive of it. But here's the thing. You need to know who you are. Okay. If you're the guy who's kind of creepy, or if you're the guy who's just like playboy, whatever, you need to take responsibility for who you are. Because if you're kind of creepy, then you might want to check that a little bit. And if you are straight up playboy, you might want to be a little more upfront, because it's real easy for you to just be like, and then she's on it, right? You might not even have to say anything. You can just give her the look, right? And play with your beard or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? This guy. But the point is, you have to take responsibility as a man, because like leadership, right? We're talking about leadership roles and sexual dominance. What leads to that is you taking the first initial step in that leadership role situation. So, and then also to the ladies out there, you also need to be open and keep it real. Like at some point you should have an open dialogue about what it is that you want. Now there's a time and place to introduce that, because like you said, you're kind of like figuring it out. But when that time and space happens, you should be very honest with people. Like if I'm asking you, are you sleeping with anybody else? You should just tell the truth. Like if you ask a question, you should tell the truth about it. Like, and it doesn't have to be offensive. It doesn't have to be, and I don't know. I know some people can't handle the truth. For real. Some people can't handle the truth.
You appreciate truth.
I appreciate the truth. If I ask you a question, I want you to tell me the truth. And I respect you for that. I feel like you're a man for that. If you can't, then if you're a coward, I feel like that's just the most unattractive thing that a man can be, is a coward.
Here's the thing, is that when I've told the truth, I've been in bountiful situations. Because truth invites bounty. And often it's together. Anyway, getting down into the chat. Shout out to Mr. Phineas. Sorry, Uncle Phineas Henshaw. Thank you so much for the goddamn $5 super chat. Hey, oh, hey, pandemic. We're in a pandemic, but we dancing. People who do ratchet will pay the Oh wait, did I read this already?
You read that one. There was another
Motherfucker.
one. That's the second one. That's
You tricked me.
It's all up in there. Did you read that one though? Wait, no,
right there.
No, the one above that.
That's not
another one that you didn't read. That one.
Oh, you right, girl.
See,
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yo, the chat is going. I don't think no one in the chat is actually listening to us. I'll be honest.
They're having a great time.
They all party. Everyone's drunk as shit. Shout out to the Red Cup Talk. Let's make it make sense. Salute. What you doing over there?
I've finished.
What you want?
No, just
No. We're not gonna do liquor no more.
Okay, wine.
Yeah. Okay.
Just drink it straight out the bottle like a pirate. Flirty bird.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta be a bird and be flirty.
Flirty bird.
Flirty. There are women out there doing hookups to find soulmates, then get mad when the guy they like will not commit to them because they boot up.
Okay, there are women out there doing hookup to find their soulmate, then get mad when the guy they like will not commit to them because they hooked up.
Oh, hooked up. Oh, you got it. Yeah, you said it. Hooked up. Yeah, the thing is like if and this is a fantastic point, Uncle Phineas, because if you go in and you're on a Tinder app or this and a third, like understand, we're not gonna be, there's not like a take it serious, but at the same time, like, when do you, right? Like, where, like, is there a location or a place that you can meet someone you feel like you can take it serious, like outside of like your mom introducing you and she met the young lady at like a church seminar? Is there more of an expectation there than it is on Tinder?
Maybe. Are you asking me or are you asking them and answering for yourself?
I'm asking you, and I'm also asking Blue Pill Sam, because I already know the answer.
I'd like to know what your answer is to that.
No, there's no difference. There's no difference. Just like as you were saying earlier, there has to be a truth, irrespective of the geography that I picked you up at. There's still your biology that I gotta figure out, understand, and figure out how to comprehend. Blue Pill Sam, you're down in the chat. I want to hear Blue Pill Sam's answer to this as well. Yeah, they should not get mad, in my opinion. They should know what it is. At the end of the day, this happens to dudes as well. I mean, let's keep it honest. I mean, we talked about all day on this chat about how this may happen to women. This happens to dudes. Listen, let me tell you guys something. Here's who put me on from a woman's perspective. In undergrad, I had a friend. Her name was Jen. I'll never forget Jen as long as I live. Here's what she told me one day. Here's what she told me. Just as many women that you look at from a sexual perspective, there was just as many women looking at you with the exact same intentions. With the exact same. We've been fed some bullshit that I cannot agree with, that men think about sex this amount of goddamn many times, da-da-da-da-da.
I definitely think about sex all day long. All the time.
Talk about it.
All the time. Be for real.
All the time.
Just ponder about the last time you had sex. It's like, man, that was great. That's an awesome blank thought in the middle of my day. Yes. Now I'm thinking about like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think about like a guy that I'm looking at and then like undress him with my eyes. I'll refer to like an experience that I actually had. Maybe that's how it's different, but I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a very sexual person. Sex is important to me. And yeah, I do that. So.
Well, I think it's not only important to you, but I think it's important to a lot of women, but they're not willing to talk about the reality because they feel like it's shunned upon to be able to be.
Well, it is. I mean, like you said, like women can be sluts and men can't be sluts.
Well, but you're living in what you're saying, in the sense that you're saying just be truthful, just be you, just be authentic.
Yeah, just be honest.
You're living within that, and that's why I appreciate this conversation, because we can talk about it in an authentic way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to. Absolutely, no matter what
no matter what it is that you want or what you aspire to be, don't waste somebody else's time. Don't take advantage of somebody else. That's a violation. Don't violate other people. You know, then you just walk around being vile. You don't have a foot to stand on if you're the violator. If you've lied to somebody, if you've deceived someone and you never apologize for it, or they never knew about it, if you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just keep it real. It's just as simple as it is. Just keep it real. If you can't keep it real, then check in with yourself. And there might be a reason behind that.
And that's what El Americano Mas Colombiano is saying with the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Shake them shoulders, girl. Shake those. Hey, let them know. Nice. Oh, she's good. She's good. Nice. It was a firm shake.
I know, it was a firm shake.
It was like an earthquake in this bitch.
I was getting into Tina Turner.
You was getting into Tina?
I was rolling down the river for a second. Love got to do.
Hey, get it.
Love, but a second-hand emotion.
Let them know.
Go ahead and read the comment.
Shit. Nice.
Shout out to Tina, man.
Shout out to Tina, the late great.
Yes.
That's why I'm up front. I give a woman an option. Hold on. Road doesn't sponsor the channel.
You trying to turn it off or turn? Okay.
There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. I might get some black tape to put on the gut. Wait, I can't put tape because it's going to muffle the audio. I'll think about it. This shit is trash.
You can paint it.
Oh, are you sure? Because I'm not sure. Look at that shit underneath it. That shit looks crazy.
This is so I have a paint that I can, there's a type of acetone that I can remove this.
Well, as long as it doesn't block the vents to muffle sound.
Because it's a silk screen on here. You can feel it. Anyways, we can talk about that.
All right, we're gonna talk about outside.
What would be dope is if I customize the microphone for you.
Like my logo on it?
Yeah.
That shit would be crazy. All right, we're gonna talk about that. There we go.
You might.
Oh. I need the ladies touch.
Sorry.
Oh. They're probably, people with microphones are probably like, you mother. Yeah. Sorry about that. We'll figure it out. Anyway.
I didn't think about that. What is El Americano Mas Colombiano say?
I give a woman an option to choose based on my lifestyle. Facts. Yeah, put it out on the table and let them know. Yep. Yay or nay. As a man, I'm cool with her decision.
Boom.
Facts.
Boom. There
Facts.
You go. Just that simple.
Take me as I am. You know what I'm saying?
Take me or leave me.
Facts, bro. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Let's go back down in there and see what the goddamn is happening. Because I feel like I'm missing some things. Shit. Look at all this. I feel like, oh shit, if I missed any of the chats, I wholeheartedly appreciate, I am sorry for that. Let me go, shit. Oh my God. Look, you see all this? See what I'm scrolling through?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. Oh shit. Shout out to the Bot Factory. We was talking about you earlier, my G. Shout out and thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Go ahead, Dan. Hold up. Go show him the show. Oh, hey, nice athleticism. Nice.
Now we getting percolated.
Nice.
Okay.
Whoa. Shit. She's good. I'm not against being up front, but women can't ask men to be themselves 1000%. Facts.
What's the rest of the statement?
I don't know. We can leave that sentence right there, talk about it, and then get back into it.
Women can't ask men to be themselves 1000% on every level.
Here's the thing.
Yet
I've experienced. You want to get into yet?
I mean, I want to just finish the man's statement. He says on every level, yet wear makeup, push-up bras, lift jeans, and demand being real. Yet we must ignore your altered features. For the record, I don't have any makeup on except for lipstick and eyelashes.
Are you natural, girl?
I am a natural woman. Not all women can do that, okay? But here's the thing. So we present ourselves to be attractive.
Facts.
Men present themselves to be attractive.
Not at the same level.
You spend more money on your car.
Well, that's your car. That's not me.
Yeah, but that's women look at cars. I look at cars like that's it. That's an asset to a man.
Because it's a key indicator of what he can provide to you.
Right.
If you should give him the buns.
And spend money on their jewelry and their necklaces and their suits and your shoes. Okay.
But if you take in totality, how much a man, do you think if you take what a man spends on himself to be attractive to women versus what a woman spends on himself to be attractive to men?
That's not at all. Can you compare? That is not at all the comparison. But where it does balance out is, okay, where is he taking you out to have a drink? What date is he taking you on? Mm-hmm. Right? Because there are guys out there who will take you out on a date the very first time. That'll be a very nice date the first time, and you never go out like that ever again because he got you. That's the push-up bra. Okay.
Oh, okay. So the push-up bra is the fake.
Yeah.
Is the he'll give you a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they pull the okie doke on you.
Right. Then she never wears a bra again. Then you're like, damn, I really wish she would push them titties up sometime.
Damn, she got them African Zumbada titties.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like orangutan. You can see him. Shoulders.
You can see him from the. She walk away from you, her titty. You can see a nipple, her areola from behind.
Titties like this. Just chuck them up there.
But the push-up bra, I got the shit's nice and percolated.
Yeah, and don't act like you don't like that shit. Don't act like you don't like it. I understand. Now, there's a level where you can alter yourself so much that you don't even look like yourself anymore. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with anybody enhancing themselves. There's nothing wrong with a man enhancing himself. I appreciate it when a man goes to a barbershop and gets a fresh cut. I go to a barbershop and get a fresh cut. I get my eyebrows done. If I didn't get my eyebrows done, it wouldn't look that nice. Now, are you altering your appearance and being like totally fake and being somebody else entirely? Or are you enhancing yourself? I don't think there's anything wrong with it, putting your best foot forward. I think everybody should do that. You know what I'm saying?
Look at the coming, not the flapjacks. Boom. Listen, you see them working. You know what I mean? Let me get the Bot Factory's super chat up there real quick just to show it respect.
Look, you play with her nipples like this.
Oh, gross. That makes my skin crawl. That makes my skin crawl. You know what I mean? If you grew up in a society with bras, you should have no excuse for that. You know?
I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens to some people. Elasticity in skin or, vitamin E. I don't know. Shit.
They're not hydrating or something. But anyway, to get back into my man's comment, on every level, you wear makeup, push-up bras, lift jeans, the man being real. So what you're saying is that men are not real either. And your evidence or data for that is someone taking you out for a Ruth's Chris, and then on the next day taking you out to Sizzler. Is that? Yeah. What do y'all guys say to that?
Or it goes back to the whole original scenario situation where it's like, I just want to have sex with you, but I'm not going to tell you that up front. Everybody does this dance. It's just like you look at animals in the wild. Think about the peacock, or think about what are they? Birds of Paradise. That's an interesting documentary. If you guys are out there bored, watch Birds of Paradise. I actually love it. So in nature, a lot of exotic birds, the male, they're the most colorful. And they do all of these fantastic dances or mating rituals to get the attention of the female. So you're lying to yourself if you think that you're not out there actually doing a dance to get a woman's attention. And if you're not, and you're kind of bitter, maybe that's why you're bitter. Because you're not doing anything to get somebody's attention. Well, let's keep it all the way real. I'm
gonna keep it funky. I think that they're bitter more so because they attribute the things that they think that they should be doing to get attention, and they're still not getting attention, or the little attention that they got, they lost in one fell swoop.
Yeah. Like, I think you just need to switch your game up. Just change your dance.
And that's called red pill rage.
Well, yeah. It's a hard pill to swallow.
And shout out to Phineas. I just pulled up my my super chats. There are women out there doing hookups to find their soulmate. I read that one already. Okay, good. So I didn't miss any of the super chats. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, because I hate missing super chats. Hold on, let me go back into the super chats, make sure I didn't miss any. I should have this open at all times just to refresh, because sometimes I miss the shit. Okay. Oh shit, chat is going crazy. So
yes, it does. A three-piece suit is very sexy. Absolutely.
So you think men lie, women lie? My response is, but numbers don't. Okay. Numbers don't.
What's the number then? What's the number? What? What?
Well, I think if you look at the numbers, okay.
Okay.
You know, I'm not referencing anything specific right now, so bear with me. Right? The anti-aging, the makeup, the clothes industry thrives off of women. Thrives. Multi-billion-dollar industries have been made on the beautification of the XX chromosome. Okay. I think that there's far less dudes out there that are investing in material things in order to ascertain viscosity.
Wait, can you repeat that? Sorry. What was it?
There is far less men out here that are doing things to ascertain from a material perspective viscosity.
Okay, you say that, but how much more frequently do they fit the bill?
Well, you know, there's cultural norms that say, yeah, the man will pay first.
How much more frequently? Because we're talking about numbers.
In America, the first date at least. Second date most of the time. And in fact, you have a large degree of women that will not give you or feel like you deserve the viscosity because you do not do these very kind of culturally significant things, such as paying for the date, such as whatever the goddamn it is. There's some of them. Now, I think most don't care. Most don't care
about paying the bill.
You know, about these different things. I think most care about things that are not put on a pedestal from a man's masculinity, right? Like we don't talk about, right? It's kind of like the components of when you hear like, I need a soldier, right? Like what that is, and looking at that video and seeing how they were portraying men, like there's components of that attract women, right? There's cliches in that attract women. Now, those things are not highlighted in media that men should do. And in fact, what men hear, especially nowadays, is we are even, we are equal. Don't do locker room talk, show no bravado. Because if you do, it's labeled toxic masculinity, right? There's a toxicity in there. But one can argue a large degree of that, not the toxicity like a goddamn, what's the movie guy's name? That bastard. what's my man's name? Harvey Weinstein. And that's not what I'm talking about. Like when I talk about Me Too, it's Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. Not that. That's a whole nother listing of bullshit. But there is components in our culture that breaks down the differences between men and women. And I've been trying to hit on this specific point a couple of different ways. And I feel like when I do, you hit up the Wonder Woman gauntlets of protection, blocking the bullets when I say it. I feel like there's an evening out that has happened in an emasculation of men. Summarizing male speak is toxic. Like, I want to talk about it, toss it up in the air again, see if there's anything that you identify with, and maybe not. Maybe I'm just making shit up.
I mean, like, I feel like in some ways, I don't think that I'm a good general representative of women because I know that I am an anomaly. I know that I'm different. The way that I think, and the way I am is different than what anyone could possibly anticipate, because they may look at me or hear something that I say and think like, oh, well, that means that you must feel like this entirely and always in this way. I have a different experience. I've also been through enough shit to know that I'm not always right. I've also reflected on myself enough to know that I have inevitable flaws because I'm just human. What's it say?
Where is the manual? I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just putting
cool.
up on the super chats. Where is the manual to date American women? There is none.
That's individual. It's individual.
Yo, the chat is going off right now. Do you see
know.
the chat?
They're not even talking about. Walk away from the chat and just come back and read it.
Yeah, they're not even talking about what the hell we're talking about. At least I don't think. Maybe I'm just not reading it.
But it's a conversation that's happening.
Salute to the chat. Y'all going in tonight. The thing is like, irrespective of us receiving notifications, we still got a lot of action in here tonight. Guys, go back down and hit. We got to get out of here soon. My bad. We were supposed to be here for 2.5 hours. It's now 3.5. Oh, you bastards. This is what happens. They just keep me here.
Damn.
They just keep me here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, yeah. I have a Patreon. Feel free to go there. Show me love and respect. I have an Instagram as well. Mediocre tutorials and reviews on the Instagram. Feel free to go there. And
I also have an Instagram. FDZgraffiti.com.
That's not your Instagram.
No, that's not my Instagram, but it's FDZ Graffiti. It's the same.
It's the same thing. Listen, we got people that was in the chat that was like, yo, she got that work. Go ahead. You got to show them the work, girl.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, check me out.
How about this? If you want to join the stream, we'll stay on for that. We'll see if anyone emails me. We'll stay on. Are you cool to stay on for that, or
for the what? So what?
I was saying if anybody wants to. Okay. Oh. You want a nom? All right, never mind. No one asked to join the stream. We got to go here in a second. Salute to everyone down in the chat. Where's the manual to date American women?
It is in her heart.
And that heart is full of barbed wire and shit that she makes up on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you deal with emotions.
People are broken. Everybody's fucked up. Everybody's broken. You're broken. You're broken too. It's a risk.
I think I'm less broken.
You got to go out on a limb. Like it's a leap of faith. It's really what it comes down to. You got to have enough. You got to have enough repair that you can dust your shoulders off if you fall short. But it takes a lot to like wholeheartedly go into any circumstance as you are, despite what the outcome is. It takes a lot of strength. Not everybody has enough strength to go about the world 100%, like you said, 1,000%.
Do you think that there's any benefit of a man relying on his emotional energy?
Do I think there is? Yes.
What's the benefit?
What's the benefit of having emotions? In dating situations or like in what? I mean, you'd have to be a little more specific about that. Because I know like some guys are like, oh, I don't have emotions and my emotions don't matter and feelings aren't real. It's like, okay, well, if you're like negating the fact that you're like a human with a nervous system, you might be like suppressing some shit. When you suppress shit, you're lying to yourself. Don't suppress your shit. Like, you gotta take a shit, go take a shit. I noticed a no shit zone.
Except for in my crib. You're not allowed. You're not allowed here.
But yeah, like, you know, don't suppress it. Deal with it. And I think it'll make you a stronger person for it. But you'll have more clarity. You're not just trying to be a brute about it. Wish you guys nothing but the best. Never settle.
Salute.
Don't pass up on a great opportunity.
Salute to Massage by Maja LLC. Wish you guys nothing but the best. Never settle, but don't pass up on a great opportunity. Salute with the positivity. Mr. Know-It-All, your MTO, your chat section is half the appeal of your live streams. These dudes in here got me rolling. Listen, we building a community up here. That's why the Patreon be so popping. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why the comment sections be so popping. It's because, listen, you get like people that come in, see the videos. They may or may not subscribe and I'll never see them again. But there's people that come in, see the videos, comment. And then there's people that come in, see the videos, comment, and then join the live streams. And then we start to get this community feel. And I already know, like, once I post this, some people are going to be pissed that they never got a notification for this. You see what I'm saying? They'll be pissed that they never got a notification for this. And it just is what it is. Like, you know, YouTube, you know, something happened with the notification. They're going to be pissed. And the thing is like, there's a legit community that's being built up here of people who are not like-minded. And that's what I love. I love that no one in here is like-minded. All right. Like, there's degrees that are, right? Yeah. Like, but I love that, like, and this is what happens when you have people from different genders getting together and having a conversation about things in a very clear, coherent, and consistent way, you know, because I don't come in here saying that I know all the answers or this is the way that it is and this is the way that it should be. I think that there's more truths and less truths. I do think that there's better ways to live life and less better ways to live life. There's also dumb ways to live life. And then there's like very smart ways to live life, right? Like I understand that. And I think part of our problem with the society is not being able to look at the dumb shit and say, yes, that's dumb. No, your opinion is actually stupid, right? Like, I think that's a point. That's a problem with society. But I love that we can just get together and just talk about things in order to bubble up conversations that can push a conversation or the culture forward.
Right.
Salud. I see Malcolm, the Patreon. Yeah. Guys, listen, I recorded a video today that's like talking about, like, if you go to my Patreon channel, I'm gonna upload it after I get off this video. Like, it's my introduction video to the Patreon. I'm excited about it. I gotta get more people up there because a lot of this content gets demonetized because YouTube be YouTubing. I think we're gonna head out of here.
Yeah, snacks.
How'd you feel about, if you can summarize your time here today? We're almost at 4 goddamn hours. I'm trying only to do 2-hour live streams. I can't
believe that I every time I've done this, I just don't believe the amount of time that has passed because I'm so engaged. I'm enjoying it so much that it really is hard to believe that we've been sitting here for that long just talking.
Facts.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, a good conversation is like a good meal. And I think that we understand more about ourselves. We have opportunities to say things out loud and to also like receive other people's feedback. I appreciate it. I like this. This is probably one of my favorites. Just with the comments and everything, like how engaged people were, because I feel like people were very constructive, but also like very vigilant about like this is how I feel, this is what I think, without being like immature or vicious.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is that like I'm taking a much firmer stance going forward on the maliciousness that I see in the comments. You know, and the thing is like I can't sit back and you know, like watch all the comments that come on my channel because it's a lot now because I have over a year's worth of videos, right? Like you know, it's a lot. It's over, you know, 150,000 views per month, like all these like millions of minutes of watch time. So it's hard to maintain it all. But at the same time, like, I do think that you can't just tell people what it is. To the conversation that we're having earlier today, right? Like there has to be a, you can tell, but expect fervor back, right? And then know how to anticipate that. And it's like how do you be smart about that conversation to interject nuggets into their mind where eventually they can come up to the solution that you already knew. You see what I'm saying?
That's that leading from behind.
Leading from behind.
It's just like suggestive seeds. Just drop the seed.
And I'm trying to learn how to do that because I think it's very easier said than done type of a thing. Like you could read a book on it, but it's until you actually start doing it effectively before you start to be an inspiration to people.
Right.
Felicia!
Yeah?
We got to have you back on again.
Absolutely.
We'll figure it out. Hopefully this contagion will be gone.
I know, right?
And we can figure it out.
Or we can just keep doing this and just keep it clean. No shit zone.
Yeah, hold on. Where's my goddamn? Let me put my gloves on.
Let's get back gloved up in here.
Let me make sure. It's been a lot of that made me feel uncomfortable.
I don't know why. I want you into.
Made me feel uncomfortable. I actually just got a physical done not too long ago. I'm getting old now. You know, they gotta check crevices in places.
It doesn't snap. These aren't the snapping kind.
Oh, looks like you have some experience with the snapping kind.
Well, I actually do training like with bloodborne pathogens and CPR training and stuff. So yeah, actually, when it comes to gloving up, yep. Okay. Not for any kind of obscure reason. Just literally
no obscure reason at all.
Nope. But I think everybody's getting experience with the gloves right now. You got the OJs on.
If it don't fit,
he committed the crime.
You must
I'm
quit.
the one that's cleaning it up. It's finding the evidence. You got the crime syndicates over there.
Salute us, everyone that's still down into the chat. Until next time, YouTube.
Damn.
Peace.
Keep it clean.
Wash your fucking hands, you dirt bags. Peace. Everybody's down in the chat. I see y'all. The masculinity. Hold up. Oh, look, they lucky. They lucky. You know what I mean? They can't handle the masculinity. They can't handle it. They can't handle it.
No comment. Bye, y'all.
Peace.
Deuces. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Till we meet again.
I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Salute, everybody.